Welcome to Ultra Hell.
Sticking out your yacht for the Rizzler. You're so
hundreds of millions of beavers, Tyler gets existential, and Robert Pattinson is getting too old for this shit.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call. Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates, and welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class, Gavin Chatter Edition. I'm your host for today, Joseph.
I'm Peter.
I'm Tyler.
And we have a great show for you today. Welcome, everyone, on YouTube Live, watching live. Everybody, all one of
Yeah, Angry Otter.
you. Thank you for being here.
Wait a minute, doesn't it say 3 though?
It says one.
That is a one.
One. The other one is Pete.
Yeah, probably me.
Making sure it's all coming through clearly.
That's right.
Okay.
And of course, everyone who is listening, not live in podcast land,
Yeah.
audio only. We have some updates on the YouTube.
That's right.
Some big updates.
We have officially made it. We're 1,000 subscribers in. That's right. So leave your peasant life behind, guys.
Awesome.
That's it.
Finally.
We've ascended.
It's about goddamn time.
We can make $3.27 per episode now.
Yes.
And that equates to 2 episodes a month, 2 episodes a week, 4 weeks in a month usually.
We're going to make like $120 a year on this
Hell
show.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
That is a lot, and especially in this economy.
In this economy, you can't afford not to.
Yeah.
Before taxes.
Yeah,
Before taxes.
I heard the government's giving tax breaks for every year that 30-year-old white guys don't start a podcast.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
So
Well,
we're already out.
did we get grandfathered in?
Yeah.
We
did. So, but yeah, we reached 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for everybody who's a
Yes, thank
subscriber
you.
who's watching. And I will say a lot of the people who subscribed came to us from the
Explosions
World's
video.
Best Explosions compilation video, part 1, part 2. So
Great
just,
stuff. It was great stuff.
To celebrate, we are going to be releasing a part 3.
Part 3,
That's
Best
right.
Explosions.
Part 3 Best Explosions video coming soon.
I mean, it's
what the people want.
It's what they
Are we
want.
graduating?
We are.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We're graduating from poor people
Oh, okay.
to the elite.
Yeah, we're not
Sweet.
we're not the poor.
We are the 1%.
We're going to change names. It's going to be upper class, middle class, film class soon.
Middle class, upper class film.
upper middle class.
We're going to be,
class.
yeah, it's going to be good.
Upper middle
Oligarch film class.
oligarch.
Yeah, OMC.
Yeah, we're gonna
Or OFC.
monopolize the podcast industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of rolls off the.
We're
tongue
gonna be
a
the
little bit.
only one.
Kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Thanks, Otter. Appreciate it, buddy. But yeah, that was exciting, and I don't know what to do with that. There's messages popping in like on the regular now. On
Anything
the
you
Gmail.
got to do on the YouTube end, like
I think so.
Add things.
There's one like category. I've already pre-enrolled all that stuff, and I'm pretty much there. But one of the things it wants me to do is put a affiliates link sort of thing on our website. And our website is just through Wix. It's very simple, very basic, and I don't know how to integrate that. They want that kind of like a director, like a link going to our YouTube page on our website.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if that's required because I don't think Jack doesn't have a website.
Yeah.
He doesn't have let's crash this parade.au.com
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
So we'll figure that out. But I mean, there's some videos that are monetized already because at 500 subscribers, you could get super likes and donations and things like that.
Yeah, we
Right.
Uncle Trip donated.
Yeah, I was gonna say Trip donated like $60.
Like $60 one
to us.
episode, yeah. So it's been sitting there, and you can only take money out once it reaches a certain level.
What?
Like once it gets to like $100, then you can cash out or something like that.
Weird.
Yeah, so YouTube's just holding on to that money for now, which is fine.
Holding our own money hostage.
Yeah, Trip's money.
Okay.
It's not ours till it hits the bank account.
I guess. So
And-
is it out of his account and in YouTube's pocket right now?
Yep, it's in Jeff Bezos' account. I just assume he owns the whole internet.
Oh, okay. At this point.
And then, and naturally, we're gonna split the profits 50-50, me and Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler relinquished a long time ago.
Yeah, but I already said at the beginning, because of my minimal involvement in the show being what it is today, I said no dice. I'm not gonna see 1 cent, because I don't do anything other than bring my ass here, which I've already failed on that account from last week, which I would like to apologize to my esteemed peers, my co-hosts, and to the classmates. Yeah, I'm sorry I did not come in last week, but I'm here today.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
here.
you. I like I like the warm welcome.
And we saved the Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 review just for you, so you wouldn't miss out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We wanted to share the pain with you, really, more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fully.
So
aware
if
of
it was an attempt to sort of like skip school, play hooky, just so you didn't have to review or
Well, you
watch
know,
the movie,
We moved the test date to today.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because like back in high school, like I skipped school all the time, to the point where I almost. Well, I mean, I dropped out of high school, but I did skip school enough to where like it came to that point. So
Yeah.
it kind of tracks with the kind of person who I am, but I'm changing that. I'm doing a different trajectory in my life, and
We're excited for that.
I'm here for class right now.
That's right.
And I'm not going to distract anyone from their studies.
Okay, cool.
all right.
That was
Already distracted.
That was a segue.
Oh, okay.
Masterful.
Well, welcome back, Tyler.
Thank you.
Another thing about today is that it's not Saturday, where we usually record. When we usually record,
Yeah,
Saturday.
it's on the Lord's Day.
It's
Yeah.
on
The day of rest.
Yeah, we shouldn't be lifting a finger right now.
Yeah.
I should be
Shomer
just
Shabbos.
prone in my bed.
I don't fucking roll on Shabbos.
Yeah,
Prone on your bed.
yeah, doing nothing, minimal effort.
Okay.
And so with that, we had a free Saturday. I mean, Pete was working kind of in a way, sort of.
I was working.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a.
I don't know what you were doing.
I had a business
You were
trip.
on a beach looking at kites.
Saturday, I
That
was
looked like
actually
work to me.
I was. Yeah, we had a later flight in the afternoon, so we had a few hours to kill coming home from LA. We visited our LA market to go take a look at some of the shops down there, and
Aren't you just down there? Like
I was there for a leadership summit, though. It was not to visit shops; it was just on site at the.
but still in the area,
Yeah,
similar area,
this- yeah.
Southern California.
Yeah, the first trip like a month or two ago was downtown LA. This one was Inland Empire Metro.
I like the movie
Yeah, yeah, it's
Inland Empire.
Inland Empire.
Yeah.
It's so it was like we were in Corona, Riverside, that kind of area, you know.
I know those words.
Fun.
Yeah, yeah. We went down to we didn't make it down to Temecula or anything like that, but we were kind of all over the place. Orange County, went to OC for a little bit, saw some of the Highline shops, and then Saturday we were gonna fly out at like 3-ish, 2:50, something like that. And we had some time to kill, so we went down to Huntington Beach, caught some sun. It was great weather that day. It rained the other days.
Oh,
So we were just chilling for a little while before he flew back.
The
and then-
American dream.
yeah, it was nice. It was a good trip.
American dream. You were at the finish line.
And then so Joseph, you did something fun.
yeah. So it was a weird situation because we've been doing this show for so long. It'll be 6 years this year at some point.
I know.
And we've recorded on Saturdays pretty much almost the entire time. You know, we've had
Wow.
breaks here and there.
Very rarely do we do Sunday.
Randomly, you know, throughout the course of the show. But like thinking of I'm so like it's so ingrained in my brain that like 12 to 4 p.m. is slotted for this
Yeah, pretty
on
much.
Saturdays, and then we have our time in the morning, do whatever. If we wake up early enough, or we just wake up just in enough time to have something to eat, and then come here,
Yeah,
and then we get home, and then it's like dinner time, evening time, and
and then Sunday you got free.
and then that's our day for Saturday, right? That's like
That's
kind of blocked out,
Yeah,
and then having no show on Saturday, me and Dan were like, well, what are we gonna do? we're so used to already having something planned, and I was like sort of freaking out, like, well, we have to do something between the hours of 12 to 4 to make it count.
You were freaking out.
You know, like, should we
a
make
lot of pressure.
should we go to do a day trip? Do we go on a hike? Do we do this or that
hike?
or something? You know,
Hikes are fun.
But like a hike in the middle of the day is not super great.
I am in agreement. No.
So we decided to go to Davis, the city of Davis.
Yeah.
Cool. It was
And-
fun.
It's the place where I'll be potentially VJing there.
DJ.
DJ.
VJ.
You're not gonna. Is there a video component?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, walked around Davis, parked in one spot, and literally walked all around. The farmers market was happening. Walked around the campus of UC Davis, which is a very nice campus.
Yeah,
And it was Saturday, so like there was not a whole lot of classes going on, so it was pretty empty. Yeah, the weather was really nice. It was really nice down there, and saw some furries.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ate some pretty bad Mexican food, and
bad.
And then
It's the agricultural capital.
yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
yeah.
Those are all the
It's
Mexicans
also-
are
it's
there,
also-
right?
No, it's also all hippies out there.
Yeah,
that's true.
There's a lot of it's a very diverse area because there was they had a booth at the market that was this guy who was a flat earther and he was trying to peddle out his bullshit. And it was an interesting crowd, and it was a nice change of pace from like the Sacramento farmers market, which like is just around the corner from where we live.
Yeah.
And it was nice. It was nice. There was like a park right next to it. It was people.
Besides the flat Earth.
Oh yeah, he was packing up.
I spent a year working in Davis for the company I work for now when I first got there, and it was a very cool atmosphere there.
Yeah,
It's a college town. I mean, like
It's college town and it's crunchy. A lot of hippies.
yeah. It's like a flat Sacramento.
And
Like,
it's very small.
yeah, and it's a lot
maybe
smaller.
that was the flat earther he was trying to sell. It's very
Davis.
flat. Davis is
flat, and it's the only town.
It's the only flat.
But yeah, it was a nice day, and I think we spent it well. We chose wisely. Like we were talking about, like should we go to like the Bay Area? Should we go to Tahoe? Should we go to something?
Look at you,
within
money
a
bags.
2 hour. I mean, it's just the cost of gas.
Well, you get food and
Food. You gotta eat food wherever you go. Same price.
But yeah, that's what we decided to do. Just
Cool.
stayed relatively close, and
it sounds like
yeah.
it's like okay, and then now I'm here.
Yeah, and then Sunday it's like I just pushed the day of the pod. It wasn't like we had a break for the weekend.
Angry Otter says Davis, the Paris of rural California.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I've never heard that.
I can't
Paris.
I can't argue against that.
It's the
There's
Bay
nothing-
Area of the I-80 corridor. It's the Berkeley of the I-80 corridor.
It's a very prestigious school,
Yeah.
medical school.
Kind of.
And
I guess. I don't know.
Before we go into proper Gavin chatter, Joel mentioned also another milestone for us. This is episode 500.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
1,000 subs, 500 episodes.
That's right.
2 episodes, 2 subs per episode.
Yeah.
But you have to also remember that. Thank you. Yes, this is a momentous occasion and a day to remember.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
But we only started the YouTube a year ago. Like it was the audio podcast for
Just
the last
over a year
5
ago.
years ago, 5
Yeah.
years essentially, and we like basically January of last year we started the YouTube. It was late December, but we really kind of started getting in a rhythm on January. So it's like we're a year and 2 months in, 1,000 subscribers. I think that's pretty good.
I think so. I
That
mean,
rate's
I think,
good.
I think when
Considering
people,
the product we're putting on.
I mean, I think people want to
believe it.
hear. I think people want to hear our noise. Like I think we stand
And
out
explosions.
with.
they also want the explosions.
They also like big boom, big explosions.
Well, here's the thing. I think is though that
That's right.
what we stand out from all the other movie review podcasts is like we're talking about the game of life. We're talking about Davis. We're talking about the weather. Like we're
Things that people love.
Yeah.
people want to hear that. People don't want to hear about.
They don't want to hear about movies on a movie podcast.
You came here to listen about movies.
What was the review that was? It was the most complimentary review that we had. I feel like we're hanging out in a parking lot outside of a movie theater.
That's what you said.
That's what I said.
I think we had a.
You've said that many times about this show. Is that that's what it's like?
Yeah.
Our pal Heather, she says that her favorite type of movie podcast to listen to is it makes it feel like you're talking with your friends after you finish watching a movie. You all talk
That's
about the
what
movie
it was.
together outside in the parking lot after a movie or whatever. And she says that we're one of her favorites because of that. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate all the classmates, the Patreon members, and otherwise, but especially to Javier, Heather, Steven, Michael, Chris, all
of our
cool ass
Patreon.
yard duties that are basically supported us from a lot of you guys since the very beginning. So very, very cool.
Yes.
And at some point, when we make enough money from this, we can basically say you're still honorary cool ass yard duties, but we'll basically say
They're like the Hall of Famers.
Stop paying us at this point.
They're the Hall of Famers.
Let Jeff Bezos and his ilk
Yeah.
pay us. So
All right, well,
Less talky, more fucky.
let's get into some Gavin chatter.
Find some charity in ye, lad. Now's the time for Gavin chatter.
Gavin chatter, movie news, things in the news, movie related, maybe.
yeah, hope so.
Pete.
That would be apt for the show.
Yeah.
Why was
Unless
that
you're
directed
Ty-
towards me?
Unless you're
why
Tyler.
why was that directed towards me?
Pete, what do you have?
Okay, so you guys have heard me talk about Hundreds of Beavers a few times on the show.
Yeah.
People who watched the solo episode I did when both of you two fellows was sick.
And the movie too.
Yeah, that too. Hundreds of Beavers, and also the movie that came out recently of the same name. So the movie it's an indie phenomenon, and I'll recap briefly what the movie's about. It's Hundreds of Beavers attacking,
Simple.
more or less attack.
Yeah.
Not really attack. They're trying to live their own life, but
Yeah, I mean, really, they
Yeah.
are.
yeah, Jean Kayak, he's a former apple jacker who burnt his crop to the
He's
ground.
a genocider.
No, he burned his crop to the ground, and his whole business selling Applejack, which is like apple booze, basically. And they're in the frontier days of America in Wisconsin, Michigan area. And it's the movie is like a Looney Tunes episode mixed with Guy Madden. It's black and white.
Yeah.
It's slapstick. There's no talking in it,
No.
and it's literally it's just a slapstick, ridiculous Three Stooges episode.
Yeah.
It's an hour and a half long.
I don't remember if there's actually no dialogue.
no dialogue.
Like there's no screens of like.
No, it's
At-
like it's
at what
played like
point-
a silent movie.
Yeah, at
almost.
one point with the trapper and the trapper's daughter, he is talking to him, and they do silent film cards.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember.
Yeah, and he says, "Read my lips," at some point, and he like enunciates his speech. So that's the movie, and he basically has to determine how to survive in the wilderness with no anything, and he learns how to catch beavers and then trade in their pelts for different things. It's almost like a game, like an app game. Very, very fun. Very, very over the top. One of my favorites in the last few years. And it's just a bunch of guys that got together and made this movie in their backyard in the Wisconsin wilderness. And the budget was $150,000. They filmed they
that's
filmed
right.
it
It
over
was
the course of 4
super
years.
cheap.
So less than $50,000 a year they put sunk into this movie. And it's literally just a full-on passion project what they made. Well, when they first hit the Hundreds of Beavers crew, and this is the stories from IndieWire, back when we hit 100,000 at the box office, we were told that 100,000 is the new million for truly independent releases like us. So we popped the champagne. And now Hundreds of Beavers had just crossed the $1 million mark at the box office. And I think that's something to celebrate.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's fun. It's a fun movie.
it is. It's bonkers. The thing is that they didn't do a traditional rollout where they basically said we're doing 5,000 theaters or 1,000 theaters or whatever, and they get distribution that way. They're going theater by theater across the country, and they're basically doing a rollout show. Or they're
Okay.
like the Sacramento Crest wants to show hundreds of beavers. They get the rights to do it. They'll allow them, and they take a piece of the door, and they get basically a percentage of the sales, and they show it for one night or 2 nights or 10 nights or whatever, and they make an event out of it. And the local people have come to start all over the country have start dressing up as these beavers because if you haven't seen the movie, go watch the trailer. The beavers are just
awesome.
It's just their friends dressed up in beaver
suits.
Like a mascot
outfit with a big oversized head that they literally just bought off of some Chinese website and then slightly modified for the movie. Yeah, that's right. They are fully in support of the CCP. But But yeah, so they're basically doing this like country or city by city rollout, and they're counting by the thousands. You know, okay, we made another $1,500 tonight on tonight's screening. Add it to the pot.
Yeah.
Or we made another $850 on tonight's screening in Pacoima, Pacoima, Washington, or whatever.
Oh my god,
You know,
that's awesome.
and they're literally doing this like grassroots beat it to death. We're just gonna be in your city. And it comes based off of word of mouth. It comes based off of people seeing it, and it's been available on Tubi and Amazon Prime, and it's streaming for free right now on Prime. But they also they have one of my favorite physical releases in recent memory, which is a wood box with a burnt logo on it.
Does he bring it up here?
I didn't for this. I showed it on the solo episode, my physical media episode. So if you watch that episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. But on that disc, there's some behind the scenes stuff about how they did it with green screen and how they made the video. And it's literally just 4 friends in the snowy wilderness behind their house on a box covered with a green sheet or a little stand with a green sheet. And it's a guy, just one of their friends with a beaver costume, just like swimming. And then the guy, Brights and Cold. I'm going to give the guy's name some credit here. Hundreds of beavers. Okay, the lead character, his name is... He's got a hyphenated... Ryson? Is it Ryson? Rylan Brixon Cole Tews is the
Sounds like a Mormon name.
the main guy. Rylan Brixon Cole Tews. And he also wrote the movie along with Mike Cheslick, and Mike Cheslick is the director. But it's just him with his in the snow, no shirt a lot of times, sometimes almost completely nude because in a lot of scenes he's getting his ass kicked by the wilderness. Yeah. And flopping around in the snow, and he's got like the, hat on or the giant beaver head, and it's just so fun. And I love the fact that movie just crossed $1 million. Yeah. And it's Flow, the animated cat movie from Latvia, won Best Animated Feature against DreamWorks and Pixar. It just means that independent film is still alive. Yeah. And I really love that. So, go out.
Well, I mean, Anora winning is also...
Yeah, $6 million with an 8... There's an interesting story about that, too, which I won't get into, but it's like $6 million, but they didn't spend $9 million on advertising for it for the Oscar push. Some people are talking mad shit about that, but, I don't know. I feel like they felt like they got something good, they're going to push it. Yeah. It makes sense. So, but yeah, independent film, support independent film, local art, support local art too. Support your local, farmer's market or craft fair. Yeah. If you have friends that are doing cool things, support them.
Yeah. Local celebrity out in Murphy, he produced a music video for a death metal band.
Yes, we will be sharing that on the Facebook page. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's awesome. I watched it. It was incredible.
Cool. It was cool. I saw it while I was on the road, and I didn't get a chance to sit and watch the whole thing because it popped up right when I was in a meeting. I'm like, oh fuck, this is cool. Yeah. So, but support what your friends are doing, and don't ask for discounts. Don't ask for discounts from your local.
Don't ask for discounts.
Hey,
that's
I know you're
an asshole move.
I know you're a starving artist, but can I get like half off on this painting? Or I'm just gonna go to your showing at this art commune, and I'm just gonna, hey, we go a long ways. Can I get one of these for free? It's like fuck off.
Yeah, no,
support your friends. Go if they start a small business or buy a restaurant or something like that. Go and take care of business. Take care of each other. Right. Don't give it to Bezos.
No.
You know what I mean?
Definitely not.
So, anyways, that's all I want to say. $100,000 for Hundreds of Beavers. Congratulations, fellas. It was well-deserved and well-respected.
Cool. Tyler. Well, also known as the Rizzler.
Sticking out your yacht for the Rizzler. You're so skibbity.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
I don't know. I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was.
He was in your stead last week.
Yeah.
But great.
He's your permanent replacement. Do you rather have him or Big Ben?
Big Ben.
You rather have the serial rapist Ben Roethlisberger alleged?
Is he a rapist? I don't know.
Fingers count.
Well, I mean, he brought us a couple Lombardis, so it's fine.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. Cut that from the show. Take the shears to that.
That's gonna be our promo for next week.
It's actually a great segue for that discussion of supporting local independent films and that nature, because so I don't have a news story specifically, but and I was kind of struggling to find a news story. I kind of wanted to switch it up a little bit and maybe have a little bit more like at the top of the show existential sort of conversation. Mm-hmm. And that is that the state of mainstream movies, in my opinion, I feel that the state of mainstream movies is kind of reaching its end game. I know there is a lot of good movies coming out, but it feels like that it's not it. When I think, I mean, this kind of like goes into like the streaming picks that I have in further in the show, but because I watched a couple of 80s movies, and I was thinking to myself that watching like these like 80s movies and 90s movies and even 70s and 60s movies, like the feel that I get from those kind of films like feel more I'm talking mainstream, I'm not talking about independent films or anything like that. Talking about like, 20th Century Fox and, Universal and all, like even Disney movies to a certain extent. It feels like it doesn't have like the sort of oomph that makes a cultural impact. And I think that now, especially with the announcement of the new Marvel movie, with Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom, yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, so like with I feel like Endgame was the end game. Mm-hmm. Like that was it. And I don't think that I have seen a movie recently that wasn't blockbuster mainstream that really impacted me. Like, I'm gonna remember that movie. Like something like, I mean, Pete, you're wearing a Jurassic Park shirt. Like, have you seen something like Jurassic Park? Like, to warrant to
one of the greatest movies of all. Have I seen another version of one of the greatest movies of all time in the last 20 years?
Right.
Since Jurassic Park's release.
There Will Be Blood.
That's not a mainstream movie.
Oh, you're talking about me. Okay, oh, so you're talking pop culture.
Yeah, pop culture, mainstream. Like, I feel like they're at the end game of it at this point, and I wanted to pick your guys' brain on it. Like, do you?
Well, let me ask you, why do you think that is?
I think because it's become.
I have a thought.
It has become more of a like a work thing instead of a creative force. Like, so it's like, like it's kind of like,
so it's more commerce based and like capitalistic approach to making movies. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I think. I mean, I know
that's mainstream. That's what mainstream movies have always been.
I understand.
Mainstream movies have always been.
I understand.
That's why they're mainstream.
I understand that. But my opinion on it is that it feels way more clock in, clock out, make this movie go forward.
You do realize that back in like early Hollywood days, you were like, the writers were like a slave to the studio.
I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, I
knew you were gonna say the one of many top points that will counteract my point.
I already knew that. I'm just saying that for my own perspective, as someone who is semi-lucid in this,
semi-lucid.
So you can't think of any mainstream movie that has impacted you in a way. I feel like I can think of a movie for you.
Go ahead.
You didn't think that the Batman in 2022?
Okay, yeah, you got me there.
And speaking of which, Angry Otter says, we had the same thing in the 80s, and then Batman came out, Tim Burton's Batman, and the theaters bounced back for decades.
Well, maybe Batman's
the key.
Batman's the key. Well, I mean, what do you guys think? Am I off base? Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
do you have thoughts?
Maybe I was off base.
I don't think you're entirely off base. I think there's some legitimacy there, but I feel like it's more like a movie. I mean, post Endgame, like we'll use Marvel as an example because that does seem to be the go-to in terms of what and how we criticize mainstream Hollywood. Like, it's just a Marvel movie. It's just another Marvel movie, and everything after Avengers Endgame does seem to just be like milking. Like, we're still going, we're not stopping.
Yeah,
you know, we're on phase 6 now.
Yeah,
and now with coincidentally with Thunderbolts coming out next month or something, and
shit about that.
they released the trailer, really hyping it up because it has the producers and some other filmmakers from A24 projects.
Oh yeah,
associated with it, like the cinematographer from The Green Knight, and the producers of Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it's edited like an A24 comedy action movie, and it's like the trailer itself is I feel like it's casting a net, a different kind of net to grab a different audience or a wider audience. And another example of Hollywood running out of ideas, like mainstream Hollywood, would be Red One, that Santa Claus Chris Rock movie that came out last year.
Santa Claus Rock movie.
It's like the quality of the.
I can't believe we watched that.
The quality of the movie is separate from like the intention of making the movie, you know? Because like I had a fun time watching Red One, but the people who were I don't know, asked to make it, you know, we don't know that whole the goings ons of like how a movie like that gets produced, how they attach a director, how someone writes a script, whether it was AI generated or not, and then finding a director. Hey, do you want to direct this Santa Claus movie where he gets kidnapped and The Rock is an elf essentially, and like a movie like that is made with the. I feel like. When I saw the trailer for it, I was like, "This is no way this is real."
Yeah,
I know, that's what I felt.
But then you have mainstream directors like Nolan, Villeneuve. I feel like Paul Thomas Anderson is somewhat mainstream.
He's known.
Yeah. Maybe Sam Raimi still.
Michael Bay. He's mainstream.
But that's
Spielberg is like one of the Ridley
crowd
Scott.
pleaser.
You know,
Scorsese.
Scorsese. Coppola, yeah. His Megalopolis, that was an indie-funded project, independent film.
Oh wait, hold on, that
technically
doesn't
was.
apply.
Yeah. He funded it himself.
But I mean, you can only count that on your hand, though. Those are the directors you can count. I mean, Greta Gerwig, I guess.
Tyler, Nate, count me on your hand. More than 10 '80s directors that had an impact then.
80s directors?
Yeah, you're talking about the '80s were the main.
Bruckheimer.
Bruckheimer?
Or Bruckheimer.
Okay.
Is that,
What did he direct?
Bruckheimer.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Actually, no, he didn't direct.
He was the director.
He was.
Jeremy.
Oh.
He became Jerry Bruckheimer. He became a
yeah.
producer later on, but
I mean, Joseph already said
James Cameron.
Yeah, I was gonna say James Cameron.
I'm just giving you the point that I'm making is that there's a handful of like very well known commercially successful directors that are still making very good things now. That was also the case in the '80s.
I mean,
But
movies.
there was also a bunch of shit in the '80s too.
Yes,
but like,
won't
Just
deny
like
that.
today.
there's like studio movies, and then there's like directors movies. Like Mario is a studio movie. The Sonic movies are like studio movies,
Okay.
right?
Specifically designed, formulaic to make as much money as
Whereas
possible.
like you have, like again, Nolan or Villeneuve, who are making
Otter.
making movies that they want to make, and the studios want them for the projects that they want to make.
Yeah, it's not the other way around.
So the problem is the studios movies. The studios movies are the problem.
So I guess that's a great point because
But without those studios movies that are bringing in tons and tons and tons of revenue to theaters, we might have theaters disappearing. So as much as you may not enjoy those mainstream movies or Frozen 2 or Inside Out 7 or whatever the fuck you're getting this week, it's like, it's fine. That's not for me. I'm okay with that, but I'm happy they exist because it gives it gives like this substance to the entire industry. It allows it to still exist.
Unfortunately.
But the thing that that bothers me though is that the quality diminishes over time. So like, yes,
I don't believe that. I think that the quality is still very high.
Okay. Well,
What studio movie in the 80s is a higher quality than what you're getting now?
higher quality?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna Alien 2.
Okay.
Aliens.
Again, considered one of the greatest sci-fi action movies of all time.
Right.
Comparing that one.
Do we have a greatest sci-fi
Dune
movie?
Part 2. Dune Part 2. It's fucking fantastic. And the quality is objectively better than Aliens.
How dare you?
It is.
How dare
It is.
you? How dare
Hey, look at the quality of the two together. Watch them the same day.
I'm biased though. I'm biased.
Are we
I
talking about like
can't- I
visual
don't have a
quality
leg
or
to
like
stand
quality
on
of like
this.
the story and or all of it combined?
pacing?
Both.
How,
fucking pissing everybody off right now.
God damn.
I love Aliens.
God damn it.
I love Aliens. The scope of Aliens is.
I need to rewatch the Dune series.
So,
That's
Are
really.
you done
what
with
I
your?
do.
What you have to say?
I mean, I'm just sort of going off what you guys are saying.
So I'm going to give you a couple examples of, like what you're saying at the beginning of your thesis here is
My
that
thesis.
is that you want to go to the 3?
Yeah.
Here.
Your thesis was that there's no movies, pop culture movies, that have the cultural impact that what fucking Revenge of the Nerds was. What's your basis of comparison? Terminator 2.
I already said Jurassic Park.
Okay, Jurassic Park. Barbie, studio movie.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
everybody knows I Am Kenough.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that it's not just people who play with Barbie. Fucking everybody knows that.
yeah. It's
You
true.
ever heard of our little friends called the Minions?
Yeah.
Fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
They're
no,
everywhere.
You're right.
And
You're
then,
right.
of course, what you said is like the Avengers. It's like, who knew who Thor was in...
Who knew who Ant-Man was?
Yeah, 2003. Nobody knew who that was.
Yeah,
You know,
true.
Gotta be a fucking nerd to only know who that was.
yeah. I mean, there's a number of people. Hawkeye, whatever.
Hot
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Hawkeye's a hot guy. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean that's Jeremy Renner. I mean,
Yeah. And then, again, also Deadpool. Everybody knows who Deadpool is
now.
Yeah.
No one knew who they were back then. Those are studio movies in the cultural zeitgeist. But I will say that the oversaturation of media that we are given in the 80s and 90s, you would watch the same movie over and over on the one VHS tape you had because it was $60 to buy a tape.
I guess that's yeah.
So there's more areas for you to focus on. So when you think about like Carson used to do 60% of viewership on whatever night he aired, and because there was nothing else, and the shit that was out there was fucking god awful. Yeah. So when you had 12 channels, the percentage is easier to get a bigger share. When you have literally like 400 channels on TV, and literally dozens and dozens
social
of
media
movies
and shit like that.
Yeah, and it's all accessible. You can watch old episodes of the Pound Puppies if you want to. What the fuck is that? I thought of this weird property called Maxie's World. It was this little VHS that my sister got when she was young, and it came with these little dolls, Maxie dolls.
Yeah.
And there was like Polly Pocket or something like that. But they had their own cartoon version, and it was called Maxie's World. And the theme song popped up in my head from some old repressed memory that came up one day, and I was like, I wonder if you could find that online. Sure as shit, you could find Maxie's World online today and watch it.
Yeah. I think Angry Otter brings up a good point.
What do you say?
That I've thought about is basically that the movies, the mainstream movies that are being made now are already existing worlds, like books, adaptations of, or remakes, or long awaited or not awaited sequels. So it's like they're just using already existing lore and then making another one, a version of it, an adaptation of it, and so it's like, because that's easy stuff to grab onto for studios. Like, oh, no one's made, like, when are we gonna get
A good He-Man.
like when Robert De Niro dies, or Martin Scorsese dies, or some Gene Hackman, for example.
Yeah, knock wood.
Gene Hackman, like, when's the biopic coming out?
Yeah.
when
You're right.
they've already had, like, they had that article already written up about his like greatest achievements or best moments in acting, and since his career started, there's a script that already exists.
But then we're going through Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was a successful book before it became a successful movie.
Yes.
You know, so it's like we like to say that there's no original ideas out there, but they are. But it's like the studios want to pull focus to something. They want to take that limited attention span that the audience has and say, you have 1,000 things to choose from. Pick the one that you've heard of before. I've heard of Barbie. I've heard of Jurassic Park Dominion World Tour or whatever, you know. Or I've heard of, another Batman movie? I don't know about that. Oh, Robert Pattinson's in it. That's the guy from Twilight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing some good stuff lately. You know, I didn't see the Lighthouse movie, but that looked interesting.
Yeah. And then,
I think really what it is, just, you know, it's kind of like illuminating to me is that I think that I'm living... It's kind of like a growing experience, like growing up with like media. So like initially when I said, I think that's the end game for like mainstream like movies, but now like talking about it, like this has been going on for like decades. So I think what it is, it's like me kind of having this like cathartic sort of experience of, well, this has always been this way.
And there was gems back in the 70s and 80s that were hard to find.
What?
There are today. It's
What?
I'm just like it's always been this way, and I'm thinking like back to like the early days of movies where they had just the footage of the train, and like someone else makes a movie with the train. Like, we already had this. Yeah. This is just a rehash of something we saw last year.
Give me a car driving at the camera.
Yeah. Even then, they were complaining already.
Yeah, really.
So I mean, okay,
Seen
so
it
Hollywood is
before.
dead.
Yeah.
This episode is really more of a therapy session to
There's like
console myself of the state of media that
Like,
we live in today.
what Pete said about like we have these studio movies that are just they're turning the wheel of the film industry to make it, you know, they keep it going, and it's a lot of trash, it's a lot of garbage, but people will eat that schlop up because there's a lot of fucking stupid people out there and they'll watch that shit.
I know.
How many McDonald's are there in the world? And then how many like Ruth Chris restaurants are there?
Ruth's Chris.
You know, there's a billion McDonald's and a handful of Ruth's Chris.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and then you have these.
That's a good
we
point.
have our tour directors that can survive and thrive with their releases of movies that studios will pepper in every so often.
So
we need
I
that.
guess the conclusion is we need these trash movies to
We
keep
do.
the movie
We do.
industry
I have no
keep
problem.
going.
I have no problem when they come out with them.
Definitely a mid movie.
We need more mid movies.
Before we move on, there's 3 movies on the top 50 grossing movies of all time list that were made before the year 2000. Can you guys guess what they are?
Before 2000?
Before 2000.
Before
Titanic.
2000.
Titanic's number 3.
Jurassic
Sorry,
Park.
number 4. Jurassic Park, number 50.
Number 50?
49, yeah.
Really?
Wait,
Yeah.
Titanic is what?
Number 4.
Number 4.
Jurassic Park is number 49.
Oh wow.
Casablanca.
No.
Gone with the Wind.
Nope.
Citizen Kane.
It is a objectively, well, it's a bad movie that got a resurgence.
Shawshank.
No. It's a bad movie that got a resurgence through the meme culture.
Recently?
Yeah, in the last 10
It is a
10
bad
years.
movie, but it made a lot of money.
It made a ton of money. Yeah, it made $1,045 million from the year 1999.
99. But it's a bad
A
movie.
prequel.
A prequel.
Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace. That's it. Phantom Menace in 99 was number 47. Jurassic Park was number 49. That's from 93. And Titanic from 97 also is number 4. $2,257 million.
What's number 1?
Avatar, the original.
Oh Jesus Christ.
2.9.
Oh, you said before 2000.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, anyways,
Jesus.
All right. Well,
Well, I mean, that's all I have to
that's
say about it.
We're
I
done.
mean, like,
we're done.
you're done.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Where's the Skyrim music?
So, name a movie you're excited about that's coming out.
A movie that I'm excited about?
Yeah. They can't wait.
Ooh.
This year.
This year.
Yes.
Shouldn't be hard. Any of them. Doesn't have to be your number one. Just any of them.
I don't even know what's coming out this year.
This is the problem. This is the problem.
I don't even know what's coming out.
Because Batman 2 isn't coming out until
It ain't
2027.
coming out till 2027. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look it up honestly. Like I don't know. I mean, I know there's movies that I was excited for, but I didn't memorize them. I don't know. You know my poor memory.
Movies are not important to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why I'm on the show. I hate movies.
We've been wondering that.
I'm just I'm just kidding.
All right, what do you have,
I'm just
Joseph?
kidding. I love movies.
Speaking of the Batman 2,
It's coming out this year.
so Robert Pattinson. No, it's not. We just
Damn it.
You just said okay. Robert Pattinson in his Mickey 17 has just released, starring Robert Pattinson. He's on a press tour for that, and in a interview with Robert Pattinson, he has said he was asked what the filming schedule or when they're going to start filming for the Batman 2, because they haven't started filming. I don't even know if they have a script yet, or if the script is
What the
finished.
hell's taking them so long?
He was asked, "Are you guys going to start filming Batman 2 this year?" And his response was, "I fucking hope so."
Me too, Rob. Me too.
I started out as young Batman, and I'm going to be fucking old Batman by the sequel. I'm 38. I'm old.
That's old.
That's an insult.
But he says, I'm old, but I'm healthier. I think I've actually brought my biological age down a bit.
38 is old? Oh, shit. On the edge of death. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that's true middle-aged
He's on death's
based on the
door
average
now.
lifespan of a human.
He's
I
on.
think it's like 40. I think 87 is average for a male.
Yeah, maybe.
That seems really, actually, that seems high. I'm going to look it up. Continue.
Batman sequel has been in long development since, we've been wondering, since the end of the Batman 1.
Yeah.
Because we were given some like teasers of certain characters. And it was kind of left on a sort of like open-ended way, as you could say. They could
You
also,
didn't need a sequel for
they
it.
could also just stop it there.
Yeah.
But so Matt Reeves is Matt Reeves is committed to making the best film he possibly can, and no one can actually guess how exactly how long a script will take to write. The James Gunn said in an interview in December. So this was in December. There was no script yet, and we're in March now. So once there is a finished script, there is around 2 years for pre-production, shooting, and post-production on big films,
Okay.
mainstream films.
Yeah.
And after leaving some fans disappointed, Gunn later defended the delay, writing, "A 5-year gap or more is fairly common in sequels of this magnitude." I don't know, because Dune 1 came out in 2021. I guess 3 years to 2024. Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. Following the Batman's release in 2022, the film went on to become a critical and box office success, with making $772 million worldwide. So yeah, Robert Pattinson thinks that he's old, but he feels healthier. So he's like kind of like in a middle ground there.
Good. I think he seems healthy.
And they haven't filmed it. I did hear him say in another quick interview that they are planning to film at the end of this year.
Yeah, that's
and
what I heard
And the
too.
movie is slated for 2027 release. Originally, it was supposed to be next year, along with Nolan's Odyssey and Denis' Dune Messiah.
Yeah.
It was going to be the big three of that year, I imagine.
All I know is they're putting wheelbarrows of money at his doorstep.
Matt Reeves?
No, to Robert Pattinson.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I can imagine that. I mean, it's a big name, Batman, and yeah.
I always thought about that. You know, like you think about like athletes who are like, you know, like football players who like win the Super Bowl, who like make the winning like touchdown or the winning basket in an NBA game, or even putting on the cowl, being Batman. Like, how does that feel? Like that has to be like one of the greatest achievements, like putting on the cowl as and being Batman. You can say you can die
You don't
on your
have to be
death.
modest, Tyler. We know that you're the Sacramento Batman.
The Sack Man.
No. This
Tyler Noe, the Sack Man.
please don't. Why did you have to say that while we were recording? Because I heard
Tyler the Sack Man, Noe.
His secret identity has been revealed.
the sack, man. I'm just wearing like a burlap sack over my head, looking
Exactly.
like a goddamn Zodiac killer trying to administer justice.
That's basically the plot of Super, James Gunn's Super.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it.
I mean, it's gonna be good. Like, we already know it's gonna be good. Like, I don't.
We don't know it's gonna be good.
No,
We hope it's gonna be
I
good.
sincerely have no doubt it's not going to disappoint.
That's how you get disappointed.
I've had like kind of like mixed
I'm not
opinions now on
Why?
like the original, the first The Batman.
Yeah.
Like, I like it overall, but there's some things about it that I wish.
Of course there is. Yeah, I mean, it's too long.
Like, I don't really like what they did with the Riddler at all. They just made him into like a QAnon guy.
An incel.
Yeah. When the Riddler himself is like, I feel like a really clever
Like
and
he's supposed to be smart, but this guy's pretending to be smart.
yeah. Putting that like his live stream in there in the movie, just like I feel like, I don't know, it really like lowered his threat level down.
But that's more terrifying in real life. Somebody like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I get what you're saying though. I rewatched it and I found some things I was not super into, but I still fucking love it.
I did like the way he looked though. I liked the very beginning of the movie. He seems very creepy, menacing.
That first 10 minutes, man.
And yeah, he got the look down. It was just what they did with the character that I was like,
All right.
I don't know. But yeah, so Robert Pattinson's old. Let's get into some stream picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus, oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the
Stream picks?
Stream picks.
Movies that we watched on our streaming services that we'll recommend to you to not watch or watch, whatever you choose.
Cool.
Pete.
Okay. First off, before I get into my streaming picks, a couple things. Binge Lord Dan is in the chat. What's up, buddy? Hey, Dan. How are you? He wants to know why Sunday. Why are we recording on Sunday?
Don't worry about it.
I told him it was my fault, and he said, Tyler, I'm happy you're back. The other two couldn't be bothered to even review anything last week. You're the glue that holds the show together.
Wow.
We just didn't want him to miss out on talking about Paul Blart.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
He was there for the first half.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Dan.
I see Tyler on his phone. Are you hurrying to finish your pick on TikTok? Your streaming pick.
Streaming on
That's
TikTok.
a true
I will.
fan.
Okay, so
Dan knows what's up.
I will point out that I forgot to get my streaming picks up and ready. So
That's okay. All right. So also housekeeping. The average lifespan in the United Kingdom is 82 years.
The UK.
In Canada is 81.
Okay.
In the United States is 77. We're 5 years less than the United Kingdom. And what's even worse than that, because that's an average, guys and girls.
Yeah.
Men in the United States, 74.8 years.
0.8. Well, you almost get to 75.
Yeah, almost to 75.
75 divided
well,
by
I mean, I'll be living till like 900. So
Not the rate you're going.
75 divided by 2, 37 and a half.
Okay,
No.
so you were 100% right. 38 is midlife. Fuck. Fuck.
Well, shit.
All right. So, anyways, on the streaming picks, I was traveling for work. I didn't watch a ton of stuff, but I did watch some interesting things. So, number one, did I talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 3?
no.
Okay. I didn't watch it this past week, but I didn't talk about it on the show, and it was pretty fun. This is streaming now on Paramount Plus, so everybody who has that can watch it. And Jim Carrey continues to be the greatest thing in this franchise. He's so fun. He's still playing Dr. Robotnik.
Very talented.
Very talented. And it's like, he said after Sonic 2, I think he said he was quitting. And then somebody said, when he was announced to do number 3, they asked him about it, and he goes, "Yeah, but I got to pay the bills." And if this is Jim Carrey phoning it in, he's even better than I thought, because
it was like an interview a while ago talking about like it'd have to be a script dipped in gold.
Yes, exactly.
And then they asked him about it. Well, I was hyperbolizing a little bit.
I think he's just trying to scare people away from bugging him all the time to be in movies.
Yeah.
But the movie itself is very fun. There is multiple Dr. Robotniks in this. There's maybe a time loop element, maybe a
multiverse.
Maybe it's his grandfather, who knows. And Idris Elba plays Knuckles.
Nice.
And Keanu Reeves plays Shadow Sonic. The Shadow. I think his name is just
he
Shadow.
does?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's some legitimately sort of like heart-wrenching sort of moments to it too, because of some things that happened in Shadow's past and Dr. Robotnik's past and whatever. And that was just better than I was expecting. A third of the franchise is kind of expecting diminishing returns, and there's a little bit of that. But if you played the games, the vibe of Dr. Robotnik feels right. I mean, it feels over the top for the games, but the games they're like fantasy cartoony. You know, he's flying around a ship that's shaped like him.
I mean, there's really not even like a huge story.
Yes, there is.
There is?
Oh, yes, there is.
Because when I was playing the Sonic games, it was just kind of like running, doing the loop-de-loops.
If you don't, I mean, you can button mash through all the dialogue in Skyrim, and there's no story.
True.
Which is how I play.
You just do all the boss fights in Dark Souls or Elden Ring. Like, what was the story of this game?
Yeah, I don't know. Wait, George R.R. Martin was in this. There wasn't even a plot. Well, yes, there was.
Okay.
So anyways, that's streaming on Paramount Plus. I mean, if you didn't like the first 2, you're not going to like the third one. But if you thought the first 2 were fun, and I actually thought the second one was a little bit more fun, albeit the first was better as a whole, the second one leaned into the fun, I think, a little bit more. And this is even more fun, I think.
Okay.
Still like maybe like a 3.5-star movie. I didn't quite get to the 4-star level for me, but it's definitely above mid. And Jim Carrey is just the best. So
nice.
Yes, that was really good. I watched a TV movie. Originally, it was a TV movie called Winner that was streaming on Hulu. It's just came out last year, so it was like a FX, I think, original TV or maybe something like that. I don't think it was. It's weird. The lines get blurred now. You know, it's like, is it TV? Well, did it ever stream on cable television or like broadcast television? Not really, but it didn't get released in a theater, so it's not technically like a theatrical release movie. So it got rated as TV MA-14 or whatever instead of rated PG-13.
It's interesting.
Yeah, so it's like the lines get blurred, but it's a movie. It's called Winner 2024. And it stars Amelia Jones, who was the lead in Coda. A couple years back, that won Best Picture. Connie Britton, Zach Galifianakis, Danny Ramirez, Catherine Newton, Leah Gibson. And this is about Reality Winner. That is her name. Her name is Reality Winner. And she's a real-life person who leaked some Russian documents out of the NSA to like Huffington Post or one of those places to try to prove that there was Russian election interference in the 2020 election or 2016 election.
Topical.
Yeah. And there was already a series about her too, that was called Reality. So there's a series called Reality and the movie called Winner. Her name is Reality Winner. And
I see.
And it was an interesting look at it because this was actually a comedy. It was like a kind of drama comedy, drama first, comedy second. And it was pretty good. I mean, nothing super impactful or whatever, but it was an interesting way to find out about a story that I knew very, very little about. And it was easy lifting. So it's streaming on Hulu. This is a very mid movie, but it was entertaining, and it showed me something.
It gave me definitely a mid movie.
Oh yeah. So that's called Winner, streaming on Hulu right now. I rewatched Evil Dead Rise. So for anybody who has not seen that movie yet, it is streaming on Max right now. You can watch that. It's the most recent entry to the Evil Dead franchise. We're getting 2 Evil Dead movies within the next couple years. One I think is going to be from from this director. And this director is Lee Cronin. I think he's doing the next one. And then the guy that did Infested, that spider movie for Australia, is doing another one. But no, sorry, Lee Cronin's not doing it. That guy, the guy that did Infested, is making one, and then the guy that did Last Stop in Yuba County, Yuma County is doing one. Francis Galuppi. So those two, Galuppi. So they're getting two what I would imagine would be very different takes on the Evil Dead franchise.
Are they supposed to be like?
I don't know. We won't know. We don't know.
I did this.
Yeah.
Are they supposed to be together?
We don't know because this one is this one kind of it kind of makes you think that there might be multiple like demons that are able to possess multiple areas at the same time. But then at the very last scene of the movie, you're like, oh, that's not the case. It's the one that you saw at the beginning is actually the one at the end. Mm-hmm. Great opening, like cold open for this movie. Very some of this middle stuff drags a little bit, and it's really less about the story and more about the just the insanity that happens to the people in that apartment and the wildness, which is, I mean, ultimately that's how Evil Dead 1 and 2 were. Mm-hmm. It's not no real story, just very basic. We go to the cabin, we read from the Book of the Dead, bunch of shit starts happening.
A bunch of people die.
A lot of people die in very weird ways, and it's like, is this crazy? This is happening, you know?
But is Bruce Campbell in it?
Look at these people dying.
He's not in it.
They did this to themselves.
He was a producer of it. Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell were producers of this.
Okay,
but yeah, completely different take on it, and it's a pretty good movie. There's some moments that I thought were really good, and then some stuff that I didn't particularly care for much at all. But the big boss at the end was great, creepy,
cool,
super creepy. So yeah, so it's Evil Dead Rise, streaming on Max. But my number one recommendation, what I'm gonna say that most people should go out and see, is this interesting martial arts movie streaming on Tubi and Amazon Prime called Life After Fighting. You guys heard anything about this?
I have not.
No.
Life After Fighting.
Sounds like a documentary.
It's written, directed, and starring this guy named Bren Foster. Bren, like Brendan or Ben, but Bren.
Oh yeah, Bren Foster.
Old Bren Foster. Yeah. And this is Australian. And Bren Foster in real life is a fighter. He's an MMA fighter and an actor and a producer. And I can't tell you if I've ever seen a martial arts fighting movie that was written and directed and starring somebody.
Stephen Chow.
Kung
Fu Hustle.
So he directed that too?
I believe so. I believe he directed it. I know he does write or he does direct and act.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure. Man, I'll look it up. Go ahead.
And the martial arts in this, the fighting in this are fucking relentless. Like they're really impactful. Like you feel the punches and you feel the kicks and stuff, and a lot of grappling, a lot of submissions, it's like good technical MMA stuff. But it's so explosive. They had to, when they were marketing this movie, it was him.
Yeah, have you seen Kung Fu Hustle? Yeah, he wrote, directed, and starred in it.
I feel like it's more of a comedy movie than a kung fu movie.
It definitely is funny. But
I love it. I love that and Shaolin Soccer.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
But this is like a Crouching Tiger type of kung fu movie, or more like
it's more like
it's like the wrestler,
like a Scott Adkins movie, or like Jean-Claude Van Damme sort of movie. But the dude is super charismatic. He's a really good looking dude who's built like a fucking brick shit house. He's fucking yoked. He's huge. So he's kind of like Alan Richardson, the guy that plays Jack Reacher.
Oh, that big beefy guy.
Huge guy. There's also in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemanly Warfare or whatever.
League of Gentlemanly Warfare.
Yeah, that guy.
Extraordinary Gentlemen in Warfare.
When you watch these guys, you're just like, God,
the League of Gentlemen on Welfare.
How'd that guy get so big? And also, good in front of the camera or whatever. So
yeah,
this guy's. I mean, I don't want to say he's a great actor. He's good. He's not an amazing actor. He's not like he's gonna win any Oscars or make you cry up or anything, tear up or anything like that. But the fact that he wrote and directed it and then stars and does all the action and all the stunts and everything is really, really impressive. And the thing that's kind of interesting is when you get a pure Hollywood straight ahead movie, it's we'll talk a little bit about it with Paul Blart too. There's a formula. to the way these movies are set up. It's like, here's
You're
this.
comparing your streaming pick to Paul Blart.
No,
too.
I'm not. I'm comparing the opposite. Maybe it's a comparison against. Because
okay.
it's like when you
I was
see
gonna say.
most studio movies,
This movie's
there's
a lot.
a formula to it, which Tyler loves. He loves the simplicity of it. He's like, I was very simple,
know.
middle and end, and middle somewhere in the beginning.
That's me.
You know what to expect. It's like comfort food.
Exactly.
And when you get a truly independent project that's like, this guy wrote it, this guy directed it,
Scares me.
well, you just get weird swings that you don't expect from a traditional movie. So you're like, oh, the cop's going to come in right here and he's going to shoot the guy and then everyone's going to save the day. It's like, well, that doesn't happen. Maybe a kid gets killed right before that happens. And you're like, fuck, they just killed a child in this movie. You don't see that very often. And it's like right in the moment, like the traditional Hollywood writing would be like, oh, it's a big feel good moment here and it swells up and then everything's good. And then,
a kid
but then
dies.
there's a denouement. The guy comes back from the whatever and then you have to do another fight together. And you're just kind of expecting these things. In this, it's very like you don't have no idea what's going to expect. And some of the fighting that happens, the complex calculus of Paul Blart, that's right. Angry Otter is saying it for me. The 3-act paradigm, the most perfect film ever made to that formula is Casablanca. It's like you have the setup.
I do need to check out
You
that
set up
movie.
the stakes, you set up the characters, and then the second act, you have the introduce the conflict at the end of the first act. You know, you have all the exasperation and stuff, and then the third act is all the resolution, and everybody ends either happy or sad or indifferent. It has some of that. You know, you kind of have to have that just in the terms of storytelling. But this movie takes detours, and you're like, why is this fight happening? Inconsequential for the plot. A little bit for the character development, but nothing for the plot. But they spend 5 minutes doing this fight scene between two characters. The second character, it was an impactful fight, has nothing to do with the main plot. So there's some good stuff here that'll kind of keep you on your toes a little bit. And also, most of the fighting takes place within a gym. The character is a retired fighter. He's an MMA fighter who lost his last fight. There's speculation whether he threw the fight or not. And this is his life after fighting. He's already retired.
Yeah.
It's not all about like, oh, washed up guy. It's kind of like The Wrestler. It's not like that.
Yeah.
He's just living that life, and you see little glimpses of kind of like the mundanity and the banality of his life.
Interesting.
And then something happens. Conflict happens. He meets a person. There's a bad guy who's her ex-husband, and what that bad guy does to him and his fans and his family and the people fighting Jim is what drives the plot forward. But most of it takes place at that gym, and he has full access to it because it's his gym in real life.
Yeah.
So there's all these long fight sequences, and you're just like, remember Dragon Ball Super Broly?
Yeah.
Remember it's like,
unfortunately.
Let's get to it.
Yeah.
How dare you? Javier's listening right now. Throughout the movie, it's like, okay, it's a Dragon Ball. It's a Dragon Ball Z movie. Okay, I get it. And some fights, but not really a whole lot of action. And then the last 25 minutes is just unrelenting, pure insane fighting.
Yeah.
It's kind of how this ends. When you get to the final fight, it just keeps going in a good way. Complimentary.
Kind of like Roadhouse.
Just like it's like Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Okay.
Not
right.
Roadhouse.
Okay.
It's like Paul Blart 2. Did you hear me?
Okay.
No, just kidding. But it was like it's really interesting, and the fight sequences are crazy because the guy's a good guy. He's a kind-hearted beefcake. He doesn't want to hurt these guys, but he has to. And you see like the wrestling of it in his mind is like, should I kill this guy? Should I just like choke him out and just put him off to the side? And it's like you can only do that so long before, okay, now we got to start killing these guys. And the modality of the carnage sometimes is shocking. You're like, that guy got way more brutal of a death than that guy got.
Wait, when did this come out?
Last year.
Oh,
2024.
All right.
So this guy, Bren Foster, I was actually turned on to this movie from Jason Kleberg from Force 5. And I think that he's like one of these guys like Jet Li or Tony Jaa, Scott Adkins, that it's like Michael Jai White, accomplished actual fighters who can actually do these things, whether it's performative or not. They're physically doing it. When they marketed this movie in Australia, they had to put out these like statements saying none of the film footage is sped up, None of the footage is cleverly cut together to pull frames to make the punches look real. They are real. And they're literally sometimes anywhere between 2 and 5 fighters on screen at any time fighting. And they're used to getting punched in the face in real life, so they're just punching each other in the face.
So they're just fighting.
It's not like, oh yeah, Christian Bale's in here, go easy on him, don't stay away from the moneymaker. They're like, no, we're gonna fucking punch each other in the mouth and the stomach.
That's funny.
Break sticks over each other's head that are real wooden sticks. So
that's cool.
So yeah,
knowing that tidbit would make the movie a lot more fun.
It was a blast, and again, when you watch it, you'll go, oh, this is kind of a lighthearted movie, and then it gets into some fucking dark shit. But based off of the plot, it's dark. Based off of the deaths, it's dark. It's really a whiplash sort of a movie where you go from like everybody's learning and training together and they're having a good time in this karate dojo or whatever, and they're all like sparring and laughing and stuff, and then you're like, boom. I'm not gonna say what it is, but just fucking trauma. And you're like,
terrorist attack.
Worse. So it's just streaming on Tubi and Amazon Prime. Go watch it on Amazon Prime so you don't have to have the ad breaks.
All right.
Okay, is that it?
My Life or Life After Fighting. Yes, that's it.
Life After Fighting.
Tyler.
Oh yeah, I got some streaming picks.
Okay.
First off, I'm gonna say my first streaming pick is Gladiator 2.
Oh.
So
Jack gave that 4.5 stars. What'd you give it?
I did not give it any stars. I didn't rate it at all because this movie is what I really like about this movie is it's just out there,
just
like
completely out there.
Like I
bonkers.
It was yeah, exactly. It was bonkers. Like I don't even know how to rate it because when I first watched, I don't know where it's. I'll
look it up.
I think it was streaming on Paramount Plus. I think that's what it was that I looked at, that I watched it on. And
it's on Paramount, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Fubo, Paramount, MGM.
Yeah, because all of my streaming picks are on Paramount Plus. I've been loving Paramount Plus recently. So yeah, Gladiator 2, I thought was a lot of people said it was not that great of a movie, and I actually think it was entertaining. I'm not comparing it to the first one, obviously, because the first one is just a masterpiece. I think Gladiator 2 has its place as being this very schlocky but entertaining movie. Like it's not bad to where it's unwatchable, but it's not good to be compared to the first one. I laughed a lot, especially during like the middle part of the movie, like when they did the whole freaking filling up the Coliseum with water and the shark sequence. At one point I was just like, what the hell is going on? And the chimpanzees that don't look, or baboons that don't look like real animals. At that point I was all in. I was like, okay, I know what I'm getting into. Like, I don't need to give a shit about the characters. I don't need to give a shit about the story. Let's move on.
Okay.
I didn't. At first, after I watched it, I didn't know what I just saw. Like, I kind of sat there at my.
What was that? They were like Gladiator 2. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a Peter Rabbit.
Well, I just sat at my desk and I was like, oh, okay, that was Gladiator 2.
And I forgot you're watching on a computer.
Yeah, I don't have a TV.
I guess that was Gladiator.
I don't have to say it like that. But I remember like after the credits started rolling, I just sat there and I was like, what the hell was that? Not in a bad way and not in a good way. Like I had to sit on it for
what the hell was that? Neutral.
I had to sit on it for a long time thinking about like, did I like it? Like, I mean, I had a fun time watching it. And so I wrestled with myself like, okay, was it bad? Was it good? Yeah, there were some bad parts, but I think overall I had more of a good time than a bad time. So yeah, streaming on Paramount Plus, Gladiator 2. Don't knock it until you try it. Now on to.
So you can't even give it a grade,
right?
Give it a grade, coward.
don't think the name calling's necessary, but
Okay, give it a great friend.
well, thank you. I'd give it a B, solid B.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a great time.
B for best movie ever.
I wouldn't go that far, but
This
I
is
think
my grade.
the shark scene really entertained me. Then I have two other streaming picks that are related to each other. I'm just gonna go off and say it. Have you guys ever seen Beverly Hills Cop?
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
just the first one.
Yeah.
so I watched. Okay, so everyone can kind of.
Is it Beverly Hills Cop that you watched?
It's Beverly Hills Cop and Beverly Hills Cop 2, which
Cool.
are both
Yeah.
streaming on Paramount Plus. Holy shit, this movie is so good.
The first one was so funny.
Well, it's not even about funny. Like I was thinking like this could be a True Detective like story.
The original True Detective.
I was because it is funny. It is funny. There is a lot of funny aspects of it, but when I heard about Beverly Hills Cop, like I thought it was gonna be like kind of like outrageously funny. But it's a pretty serious detective story.
It's not like Police Academy.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking going into watching these two movies. Like I think it was gonna be like that sort of like zany, outrageous like humor but it happens to deal with law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that. Like it is because of the nature of Eddie Murphy's acting. And he has that laugh.
That's pretty good. Not bad.
We
need Joe Bridges in here to rate that impression of a laugh.
I'm thinking about becoming a laugh impressionist. Just laughs only.
But when he does
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
That was Gandhi. Sorry.
I always thought Gandhi would be like
Well, it's more like because all that
he's dying,
all that dust,
yeah,
all the sand,
the subtitles from that laugh was Gandhi dies.
So what I think Beverly Hill Cop really succeeds on is the pacing of the story and the jokes that hit. So when he does the it's at the perfect timing. Mm-hmm. Like it's not overused and it's not at inappropriate times. It's just all the jokes hit at the correct times, and it's not jokey throughout the whole movie. The plot of the first one is that his friend gets murdered by a hitman, and then he tracks down the source of the hitman to Beverly Hills, mm-hmm. and then his boss, Todd the inspector, who is my favorite character in the entire film, because he's like the angry boss. He's just like, you're a loose cannon. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna do anything, but he's just so funny. Just because of his outrage, like he's so outraged by like his Eddie Murphy's Axel Foley.
Yeah.
It's a combination of all of the characters mixing well. Like you have the Beverly Hills Cops who are like by the book, like they don't go outside of the realm of the rules. And then you have Axel coming in, kind of dealing with the two other detectives, and that they're kind of bumbling. It's just a very well-paced movie. Now we go on to...
Oh, we're still going. We're still going.
Now we go into Beverly Hill.
All right.
Hill Cops. My second streaming pick, Beverly Hill Cop 2.
Third one, technically.
What do you mean it's the third one? How is it the third one?
Gladiator 2, Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop 2. Because I would...
Continue.
Okay.
Continue.
Right. And so my third streaming pick. Thank you for reminding me.
Okay. Don't be mad at me for being factual.
Who's mad? Who's mad?
Facts
here?
don't care about your feelings, Tyler.
Who's mad?
Facts don't care.
Who's
about
mad
your
here?
feelings.
I didn't say I was mad. I simply misremembered. So yeah, my third streaming pick, Beverly Hills Cops 2, streaming on Paramount Plus. Again, I went into this movie thinking that this was going to be weaker, and I was pleasantly surprised that this was almost stronger than the first one.
Ooh.
It was almost stronger because I feel like everyone was confident in their roles that were given. Like mostly everyone reprised their same roles again. The plot of this movie is about the Alphabet Bandit, where they're leaving clues.
The alphabet.
Yeah,
It's like the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking, and they kind of treat it that way too. This movie, I think, is a little bit more funnier, and that's not detriment to the seriousness of the plot. But I had such a great time, and I think Eddie Murphy really got into that role a lot further than his first film, and I think this movie won an Academy Award too, if I'm remembering correctly. It was either the first one or the second one that won an Oscar. Yeah, this just a really, really fun film, and I forgot to mention in the first one the way that he gets to the hotel room is.
It was nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, it was nominated
for music.
Okay, well, the music is great.
Well, it was nominated for an Oscar.
The music was great, so I'm not surprised. But the way that he gets, because he's from Detroit, so when he goes to Beverly Hills, he has to like find a place to stay, and he's too cheap to pay out of his own pocket to get to a place to stay. So in the first movie he does this whole bit where he's like, "Oh, I'm from Rolling Stone, and I'm about to interview Michael Jackson. How dare you? Like, I had a reservation, and you lost it." And then he says some very offensive language that I won't repeat here on the air. And then in the second one, he does kind of the same thing, except it's a construction crew who are doing a renovation on like a Beverly Hills mansion. And he like poses as like a building inspector and dismisses them so that he could just stay in there. And it's just such a great time. It's so fun. It made me feel good. It was a great movie to watch in the dark.
In the dark?
In the dark at a computer desk with my pants around my ankles.
So, very good. So you like the sequel almost better.
Yeah, I think I had a better time with the sequel. I think the plot was a little bit stronger. The first one, I didn't have like too much of an emotional attachment to the plot of him losing his friend to a hitman.
Yeah.
Like just because like I didn't know the friend, he just like kind of showed up, and like there was like probably like maybe like 5 minutes of them like bonding together, and then someone puts it in his head, and then it's like, okay, so that's the catalyst to move the plot forward. But I didn't have like a lot of emotional investment. But with the second one, because of the relationships that he made with the Beverly Hills Police Department and like all of that, that's when I was like into it. And so I think the second one was, I feel like a little bit stronger than the first one, but both of them like are just really solid movies. And it's not.
Well, the reason I bring that up is we spent 25 minutes trashing sequels and spin-offs and reboots and things like that in the first half of the show. But it's like every once in a while on film Twitter, you'll see someone pop up and say, "It's a travesty that The Nice Guys doesn't have a sequel." I'm like, which is it? Which is it?
Make up your mind.
Yeah. Beverly Hills Cop 2? Great.
Yeah. And then, I guess I'll cap it off here with I watched the new season of Invincible. I know this is a movie podcast, but yeah, okay, there we go. Check it out.
Very good.
All right. Okay, we're on to me now.
Yes.
Fantastic. Woohoo! All right, I have a few movies. Speaking of, it's so funny you watched Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I watched Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Oh, cool.
Streaming on.
What are you guys, furries now?
Yeah.
Yeah, ever since I saw that group.
It triggered something in you.
I was like, that looks kind of fun. Streaming on Netflix and Paramount Plus via Apple TV, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Yeah, I agree that Jim Carrey continues to carry this franchise.
He Jim carries it.
Yeah, because otherwise, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I did not enjoy whatsoever. The first Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I gave it like 3 stars. It was like surprisingly funny and fun and entertaining, and it was still very much geared towards kids.
Yeah,
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 doubles down on like, this is even more for kids.
Yeah,
for sure. It's way more silly. The writing and the dialogue is more digestible. It feels like an episode of a TV show of a cartoon on like Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or something.
Okay.
Just the way the plot unfolds and like characters learning things. Like he has this map that Knuckles is after. That contains the location of the emerald gem or something that is sacred, that gives him the ultimate power, which is what he's after. And Knuckles teams up with Robotnik, and they're a sort of duo throughout most of the movie. And Sonic's had this map. He's had this map for a while, and just now he's looking at it, and all this information is being revealed.
Yeah.
And it's just stuff like that is like I know I shouldn't like be critiquing it like that, like from a lens of like, this doesn't make any sense. This would never happen. Why didn't he had the map the whole time? Why didn't he look at it earlier?
He barely knew how to tie his shoes in the first
Why
one.
didn't this hologram of Longclaw appear earlier to him?
He was living in a shoe back then, or in a tree stump.
But Idris Elba as Knuckles was a good addition, I think, because his Knuckles, when he's on Earth, he's not stupid, but he's just like, he comes from a different world, and he just doesn't understand how anything works on Earth.
Yeah.
And so like he just is and he's playing it very stoically, like very straight faced.
Yeah.
He like caveman-esque type of dialogue. And then Jim Carrey throughout the entire movie, it felt like Jim Carrey was just channeling his Grinch performance throughout a lot of it. There's even some lines.
There's for sure in the third one, just a couple.
Yeah, there's definitely some. I was like, that's the beginning of another line. That's like the same delivery. You know, I know he's obviously the same person that played the same character.
Loathe entirely.
But yeah, it was entertaining, but it was not as good as the first one, I don't think. And definitely silly. That was the lowest of the 3 that I watched. But that's streaming on Netflix and Paramount Plus.
So you did watch number 3?
No, I didn't watch number 3.
Okay.
Not yet.
Oh, it's the lowest of the 3 from this week.
Of the 3 movies that I'm going to talk about. All right, the next one I watched streaming on Amazon Prime is a documentary by Michael Moore. Came out in 2015 called Where to Invade Next. And the premise of the documentary is that he is doing a one-man invasion of different countries and taking the ideas of those countries, the good ideas essentially, and bringing them and stealing them and bringing them back to America. So essentially it's just him going into, he goes to countries in Europe. He goes to France. He goes to Italy, Germany, and Norway, and Tunisia, and Iceland as well. And talks to people there, some workers, some government people, and like learns about the way that they treat their citizens, their policies that Even he goes to a prison in Norway and talks about how like the prisoners there, how they're treated compared to the prisoners in America.
I've seen those pictures; they're crazy.
And so like he talks to some people in Italy and how companies there, I think for Ducati, how they handle like vacation time for their employees and how it's very, very lenient. And the employers are like, well, I mean, we get a bunch of vacation time, so like, why shouldn't they get a bunch of vacation time as well? Because it only benefits us when they're in a better mood, overall. And then he goes to France, talks about like the school lunches and how long school days are for children. Like it's like 3 or 4 hours a day, and they don't get like homework or anything. A lot of it's like active learning. And it's a really entertaining documentary and interesting and also depressing because where I'm watching it, the country I'm watching it from.
Yeah, for real.
And a lot of it, there's like probably a lot more nuanced things that are not in the documentary. That's like, well, there's like, there's things that are like the problems with the minor problems that come with like these sort of programs. But overall, it seems to be a universally beneficial thing for some of these countries. It's entertaining. The only thing I will say is that it's a bit lengthy. It's like over 2 hours. And documentaries over 2 hours, it's like, it's
tough.
It's kind of hard to like take that information in for something that long.
Yeah. Life After Fighting is over 2 hours as well. And then like at some point I'm like, this is pretty kind of a long movie.
Yeah. But that's Where to Invade Next. That came out in 2015. I don't know if he's made anything since then. But that's pretty recent, I think, within I guess the end of the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And then after that, I watched an Oscar nominee that didn't win anything except 2, which would be Wicked.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I watched Wicked.
Is that as good as everyone says it is?
No.
All right.
But
breaking new grounds here.
But it was entertaining, but when it was over, I was just like, well, it was all right, I guess.
Yes.
It wasn't bad. I don't really have anything really bad to say about it. It was just like I was not a big fan of the music. And for a musical, that's a big thing.
Yeah, it's a problem. That could be a problem.
Yeah. The set design and everything was really great. Cinematography was pretty flat, uninteresting. There's some cool camera movements and stuff, and the camera moves with certain set pieces. There's like this one, I think it's like a library or something, like a study room. There's like a spinning, like almost like Inception, hallway, except it's a circular instead of rectangular. And there's a lot of like beams in the middle of it, and there's people like swinging on them as this musical number is going on, and the camera's like going in and out of it. There's a lot of cool camera movements like that, but I think it was a joke that Conan made at the Oscars about like, it was like, Wicked, all of your favorite minor characters go to college.
And
it was like it felt like I was watching like Monsters University. Like it was that kind of premise.
Got it.
And it's a prequel of The Wizard of Oz, and obviously you know what happens in The Wizard of Oz if you've seen The Wizard of Oz, which
her sister was a witch.
Most of us have. And Elphaba is the sort of main character, and Ariana Grande's Galinda.
And she changes her name to Glinda.
Yeah, at some point in the movie, she does change her name to Glinda.
It's actually Glinda.
One of the things I heard that like kind of cracked me up, and it makes me hard to kind of take it seriously, is that people are making fun of the Green Witch for being green. Is that true?
Yeah, it's like a racist thing. I don't know.
But
what's racist about it?
She's
what's
green. It's the color of her skin. They're making fun of the color of her skin.
In this world, in this fantasy world of Oz,
they make fun of her skin because it's green.
Yes,
which I don't understand because there's literal talking animals in the fucking movie.
Yeah, it's a weird prejudice thing.
Oh, there's a duck that's leading our social studies class, but I'm gonna make fun of the green chick.
Yeah, I mean the premise of the movie is that like they're trying to get rid of the talking animals.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
And then you see the monkeys.
I'm intrigued.
Pre-wings. Jeff Goldblum
They
plays.
take hormone therapy to get their wings.
You say homotherapy?
Hormone therapy.
Homotherapy.
No, I did not. It's a hormone. This is all just trans allegory and like also allegory for racism and genocide, things like that.
Yeah, animal
But they're
rights and
singing
stuff
the whole time.
Yeah, but they're singing.
It's like Schindler's List, the musical.
Blah, blah, blah. The Inquisition. What a show. The Inquisition. Let's begin. Jeff Goldblum plays the Wizard. The Wizard.
Okay.
And nobody beats him.
Guys, you got it. You're on fire today.
And I had a thought about Jeff Goldblum.
Mm-hmm.
Is he actually a good actor, or do we just enjoy him as a person enough to forget about acting?
No, I just enjoy it.
I think in his modern movies now, that's the latter is the case. But in The Fly and Jurassic Park, he was great.
Yeah,
He doesn't just do shtick the whole time. He also does some emotional pathos.
I think he's evolved.
Earth Girls Are Easy. He's good.
I think he's evolved into a typecast.
But there's still a lot of that in those older movies, even in The Fly.
Oh, there's a lot of it.
Even when he's as the Fly, when he's like mostly Fly,
yeah,
it's like that's Jeff Goldblum.
He's still like,
yeah.
But I mean,
like
that's the talent. That's the talent, though. Is like that.
Well, it's Walk In or Woody Allen. Anybody that has a very specific cadence,
right?
It's a little bit of odd in their delivery and just their personality.
But it's charismatic. I mean,
he's. I have a similar feeling about Jennifer Coolidge. Because I feel like
I don't think she's a good actress.
Jennifer Coolidge and Jeff Goldblum are the male and female counterparts of each other.
Wow.
It's been said many times.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, especially in the sort of their modern resurgence.
Yeah.
The Jennifer Coolidge assance and the Jeff Goldblum assance.
Yeah.
It seems like they have become just be you.
They've been elevated,
and they know
it. Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I
can say that about Richard Kind as well, but he's fucking great.
Or
I love Richard Kind.
I think the most famous example would be Bill Murray. Like he plays himself essentially in every role that he.
What is himself? What is a movie where he is like you think he's probably most himself?
Any Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Pick any PTA movie.
He's not in a PTA movie.
Yes, he is.
No, sorry, he's saying Wes Anderson.
Oh, Wes Anderson.
He's singing Wes Anderson.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
I speak Tyler, so I knew what he's saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say Zombieland. Definitely being himself there.
Oh yeah, he's literally himself.
I disagree with that statement, but I respect that you have it.
I respect that you could come up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can be entitled to my wrong opinion.
But yeah, so Wicked. I don't know.
I'm still gonna
2
watch
hours and 40 minutes.
That's the thing. I have better things.
And it's only one half of the movie.
For a play that's only 2.5 hours
It's
as
like
a whole.
Yeah.
And where's it streaming at?
It's on
I don't know. I'm not streaming.
It's on Zip.
It's on.
You can rent it.
Oh, it's a rental. It's a $6 rental.
Rented it?
Yeah, of course I rented it. I spent the money.
Jeez.
Regal, Fandango, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, Flix TV.
I did spend the money to watch it Complete Unknown. That was $25.
Jeez.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all I have.
How's that worse? So wait, so Sonic was worse than that?
Sonic was worse than Wicked. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. But
what did you think it would be better?
No, just from gave a bad review or both. I was kind of expecting.
Wicked. I mean, Wicked has like
has moments.
Has a lot to appreciate about it.
Oh, okay.
Sonic,
not so much.
Not
just the one thing,
as much.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. So thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That is Javier, Heather, who was in the chat for one hot minute. She's been on a world tour lately. She's been all over the East Coast.
Really?
Yeah. She went to New Orleans and she just checked in from Times Square.
That's in the South.
East Coast. Like
he said world tour.
Yeah,
world that's tour, in the U.S.
United States. If it's east of Arizona, it's the East Coast.
It's certainly east of us.
Texas, that's East Coast.
Nevada, East Coast.
That's right. But yeah, she's been all over the place, and I've been following her exploits as she's eating her way across the Midwest, the South, and the East Coast because she posts all the great food that she's eating.
Oh, I thought she was literally eating
a lot of gumbo and jambalaya.
Yeah,
in New Orleans.
Pan Purdue and what is it? Pan Chocolat or whatever it's called.
You just made that up.
Yeah, what's Pan Purdue?
I don't know. Sounds like a hairdo.
It could be. I think it's a.
I think you're thinking of
Pompadour. I think it's a city-state in France. But yeah, so thank you to Heather.
Thank you,
Javier,
Heather.
Michael, Stephen, and Chris. Those are our cool ass yardies. Those are our yard duties. Those are our top supporters over on Patreon. We have a whole bunch of class clowns as well, and new students and whatnot that makes up the Patreon. And we really appreciate that. This is episode 500. No real big pomp and circumstance, no big plans or anything. We just
See how special it was?
Yeah, we're here.
We went an hour and 40 minutes for you.
Yeah, exactly. The special thing is Tyler's here. The straw that stirs the drink.
Tyler made it.
The glue that holds his peanut butter and jelly sandwich together.
Please clap.
Heather says Pain Purdue is French toast.
Pain persuaded.
I think that was a typo.
Okay. I'll have the pain persuaded, please.
But yeah, so thank you to everybody there, and until next time. Thank you for joining us on episode 500. It's we review. Well, we don't review
Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
Yeah, 501 we'll be doing Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
Yes.
So follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, and please follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
Stick around if you're on the live stream. We're going to do Paul Blart Part 2 next. If you're not, we'll see you on Wednesday.
See ya.
See ya. That's a Jew.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call.
Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You're mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimball to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class Movie Review Edition. I'm your host for today, Joseph.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Tyler.
And the Wheel of Destiny landed on my pick. I mean, there's only two other movies on the wheel.
50-50 chance.
The Wheel of Destiny landed on my pick. Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2.
Mall Cop 2 hits theaters this Friday.
This Friday?
This Friday?
We missed it.
Lights out. Lights out.
Grab a date.
I'm gonna give you my phone number in case you want to grab a
Grab
drink
a
sometime.
date.
I don't drink, but I do ride. Oh,
Crusher.
And go see the only comedy that will leave you breathless.
The only comedy.
That's orange chicken.
Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2. Doors open Friday. Rated PG.
Sounds like another field trip.
Yeah. Imagine if we were around in 2015, like if we were doing this show.
If we were around.
If we were alive. If the show was alive in 2015, would we covering these movies?
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, we're covering them now.
Yeah, maybe.
Better late than never.
But yeah, the end of the saga, Paul Blart Mall Cop series. I don't think they're going to make another one.
Hey, never say never.
Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 is the movie we're going to be talking about, directed by Andy Fickman, written by Kevin James, also starring Kevin James, written also by Nick Bouquet.
Nick Bouquet.
Yeah, Nick Bouquet. And this is the follow-up to Paul Blart Mall Cop 1, as it's so aptly titled. And this is pretty much like almost like a direct follow-up from the first one.
Pretty much. It picks up with a nice summary at the very beginning. One of the more depressing things I've ever seen in cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is pretty bad.
I noted that. And I actually took notes for this one. And good.
Oh, good for you.
Because we didn't review it last week.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since I've watched this.
We wanted to wait for Tyler, who is now here with us. And we didn't want him to miss out on Paul Blart 2. So now he's here, and he's grateful to be back and reviewing Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
Yes.
All of our first time watching Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, I imagine. We all
first one was first for all of us as well.
So yeah, we're on this journey together.
It's coming to an end.
Yes.
PBMCU has been lackluster, if anything.
Yes. We were not fans of the first one.
I thought it was better than I expected.
Yeah.
I don't think it deserves all the hate. I think the joke of what the movie was fine. But I will say the second one lived up to the anti-hype.
I haven't heard anything about the second one. All I know is that it's just sort of a meme movie. It's like ironic to talk about this movie in a glowing manner.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here we all are going to talk about it, giving some initial thoughts on Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Pete.
So Paul Blart Mall Cop Part 2. Let me fix my camera here. Well, it's off center on some of these images. All the terribleness that I've heard about the Paul Blart franchise is embodied in Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, like I said, was better than I expected. It was like a fun kids comedy. It's like a goofy slapstick comedy with some action stakes and a little bit of heavier kind of subject matter, but for kids. Bless you.
Thank you.
Not for adults, not for anybody else besides just a bunch of kids. It's something inoffensive that you can put on for the grandparents, the kids, the parents, whatever. Something you can have at playing at a kid's birthday party and and you're not going to be pissing too many people off, and people get a good chuckle and say, hey,
I would be pissed off.
Kevin James guy, he's pretty physical kind of guy. He's good. He's not Farley, but he's okay.
Yeah.
Number 2 though is offensive. It's offensive how far they've come.
Okay.
And I never thought I would want to have to like be, I never thought I would want to be indignant about, sullying the name of Paul Blart with the part 2. But here we are, because Steve Carr was the director of the original.
Mm-hmm.
He did Next Friday. He did Daddy Daycare. He did a segment on Movie 43, but I won't hold that against him. There's like a lot of notable people that did segments on Movie 43. Are we there yet? Are we done yet? I mean, kind of the Drek of the family comedy movie. That's like his Dr. Dolittle 2. It's kind of like where he kind of settled in with his niche.
Yeah.
But Andy Fickman, director Andy Fickman, is the worst. It's terrible. He was a producer on the original Anaconda movie.
He's the worst?
Yeah, Andy Fickman.
Okay.
The movie, it's not good at all. It's not good. The
Paul Blart.
The direction is bad. The acting is bad. The plot's terrible. It's bad. It's cheesy. It's like Spy Kids, but not intentionally goofy and tongue in cheek.
Like Three Ninjas.
Yeah.
Three Ninjas.
Hold on. Spy Kids is a fantastic movie.
That's what I'm saying. That intentionally leans into that goofiness of it and the wildness.
I like that slow build of the. I will
calm down.
We will not have Spy Kids.
Not in this house.
Slander.
Solely Robert Rodriguez. So I mean, it has to be a big part of it is the direction. But the original movie had a budget of $26 million, and the sequel had a budget of $30 million, and it made half the box office.
Because the first one did so well.
Yeah, the first one had a box office of $146 million. So it made $120-something million. God
damn.
The second one, budget $30 million. You have to imagine the advertising was much higher on the second one, and it ended up grossing $71 million worldwide.
Okay, so it had a profit. Just
Actually,
not...
I'm sorry, 107 worldwide, and the original one was 183 worldwide. So about half.
Still made a profit.
A little more than half, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like the worst ripoff of a Ocean's 11 sort of a feeling, and I just can't understand what was happening with his daughter, the actress who played his daughter.
Oh yeah.
It's like they wrote her as a 40-year-old woman. From the outfits to the way she talks.
Yeah, she was played by a 30-year-old woman.
Yeah, she was like 28 or 30 or something like that when she filmed it.
And yeah, she's supposed to be like, she's supposed to be 18.
Yeah, like 17, just graduating, getting ready to go to college. And I'm like, it was very strange. Very strange. What I did like, though, I'm going to try to find some good things from the movie.
Okay.
Not much.
Well, your initial thoughts were you didn't like
it. It ended eventually.
Yeah, that was a good thing. That was good. 3 minutes longer than the original, so that was bad.
Okay.
I guess the good that I liked about it was I liked how I did like the female cop who comes at the end. She's an actress, a comedic actress who's done a lot of stuff that I like. She's in Superstore, that TV sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
This is really funny. It's a very funny show, very kind of standard sitcom-y show, but it's pretty good. And her character in that is good. She plays a version of that character in this as a cop, though, and I liked that. The strong, like, female cop who basically takes the lead and wants to take Paul Blart out.
Is she a cop? I thought she was worked for the hotel.
No, she was a cop.
Not the hot chick.
Oh.
The cop at the end who was in the trailer who kicks him with the horse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's a burly gal.
At the very, very post-credit scene.
Yeah, doesn't look like somebody that would be in like a Cisco music video or something, or doesn't look like a print ad model.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as you see that woman come on screen at the hotel, you're like, oh, this is supposed to be Paul Blart's love interest.
Yeah.
I can understand this is in the Sandler extended universe when that happens. It's like the dumpy guy that everybody makes fun of and maybe like developmentally disabled, the way that they write his character.
Yeah.
And they give him like a supermodel as the like love interest. I like that they went against that, and he's basically rejecting her. That was good.
Oh, because he's like, you're laying it on pretty thick there, sweetheart.
Yeah, I really liked that running gag was good. And then at the end, when he could take his prizes, he could take his riches of this woman, and like start his life with her. She's clearly throwing herself at him, and then he's like, no. See that guy over there? That guy's crying over there. That's he is your love.
Yeah.
I'm just the flavor of the week. I'm just
that's
Zeus on top of the mountain or something like that. And I liked that whole refrain, and that Paul Blart settles into this woman who is more apt with his personality and everything else. So I liked that part of it.
Mm-hmm. It stops there.
And I like that he actually learned how to do the Segway dance.
Oh,
the little dance of the Segway in the foyer. And it's not put out there as a dance, but that's what he's doing.
He's doing moves and stuff, yeah.
And I appreciate the extended fight scene with a bird. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
What more could I want? An extended fight scene with a bird while a classical piano is played and the man just watches. I like the absurdity of that.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of moments there. And I also like the fact that they put what is that guy's name? I'll think of it. One of the other security officers. He's a comedian. He has a YouTube channel too. I'm trying to find out what his name is. Gary Valentine, that's his brother, plays one of them. Nick Turturro. I like Nick Turturro. He's one of the other security guards.
Oh yeah.
But Vic Dibitetto. He's another one of those guys. I liked those actors specifically, but I didn't like that they kind of made everybody in that entire group of these mall security guards and like hired security guards, they kind of made them seem like they're all developmentally disabled, like rejects of society, not just like kind of socially unaware, devoid of of the mirror to society. They're just like I don't know. It just seemed like circus carnies or something like that. They're like, look at these fucking freaks here, And I didn't like that. I thought it was mean spirited in a way that Paul Blart 1 was just kind of like, he's got a good heart, but whatever. They all were kind of like, these are actually incapable. Like these guys might choke on, if they eat a popsicle, they might choke and die on it because they can't be left alone.
They're just like old or slightly overweight or like
it was more than that. Yeah. So I kind of felt like that was punching down in a way that felt dirty, and that solely the entire thing for me. So
if it wasn't for that,
it set the groundwork for making it even worse, and also the clunky initial setup for why he's now single again and all that happened. One after another. And it wasn't well written, and I think maybe that was the point. That it was supposed to be so ridiculous and over the top. That look at this poor soul, this poor Paul Blart.
It was just that they didn't want to have the actress back. They didn't want to have to film scenes with the old woman.
Yeah, probably. That's probably it. So I don't know. This was a tough watch, a really tough watch.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time.
All that being said, glad I watched it.
Tyler.
Yeah, Paul Blart 2 was disappointing for me as well.
Were you expecting a good time?
Yeah, I kind of was. So
excuse me.
This movie made me appreciate the first one more.
Interesting.
Me too.
I think what I really loved about the first one, I mean, yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea, of course. But I think what I liked about the story of the first one was it was like an isolated sort of thing. Do it with what you will, and it was fine. It was a fine, stupid movie. Whatever.
Yeah, it's the first one.
First one.
Oh,
okay.
Second one.
Everyone in this room is now dumber.
Not what you said. The movie.
Because of the movie.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. I was like, oh well then. The second one though, in the beginning I liked the premise. like you were saying, Pete, like it was really freaking depressing in the beginning, which I liked. I enjoyed. I was like, oh yeah, let's knock this guy a peg or two down after his courageous act in the first movie. And then I think the overall plot just didn't it wasn't convincing enough for me to like turn off my mind to the wackiness of it all.
Okay.
And I think what really like kind of gets a pass is knowing the context of how these movies are made, which is that this is like a vacation for all these people, except for the crew, of course, who are working hours and hours of editing and writing and shit like that. But
you said that last time, but they just went to a mall in Wisconsin or like Jersey or something.
Right. Well,
I mean that's a standard thing for like Sandler movies, but they didn't go to Acapulco.
That's true.
They're in the interior of a Caesar's Palace in Vegas.
But it's an easy. It's a for the stars and everything. It's like an easy job for them. So it's easy. Okay. So like going with that mindset, and I mean again with like the title Paul Blart Mall Cop, like what are you gonna do with that? Like you're not going in like There Will Be Blood. Like you're not going into Gangs of New York and any other Daniel Day-Lewis films. But
Last Mohicans,
My Left Foot,
yeah, exactly. This ain't no La La Land.
The Crucible.
Yeah, the Crucible.
The Crucible.
It's not like Drive. It's not like
So going into this movie, you know what you're kind of getting into, but it lost its charm in the sequel, and I was disappointed. I was disappointed by that because I thought the idea of like him going to Las Vegas to go to like the security guard convention, like, okay, that's great. There's going to be a heist that he foils. Yeah, that makes natural sense for that to happen. But the way it was executed in the middle, like once it got to the middle of the movie towards the end and like with the whole daughter thing, I don't know, like it lost me. And it just I kind of felt I was depressed really at the end. I literally went into a depression after watching Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. That it was that impactful. Does that make it a good movie that it had that effect on me? I don't know.
I would argue yes. I would argue this may be your favorite movie you watched this year.
But yeah, it was it was a ride. I was at the end of the movie I was just depressed.
So you didn't feel like it was like you had a tough time watching it because of how bad?
No, it wasn't a tough time. I watched it thoroughly. I was right there.
I watched it thoroughly.
Very thoroughly.
I watched.
Notice you said you didn't enjoy it thoroughly.
No, I'm not gonna. I won't go that far.
That's fair. Totally fair.
But yeah, it was a disappointment because I think the idea is strong. It's just it wasn't executed correctly.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my initial thoughts.
Cool. All right. So. Yeah, I also.
Are you okay? What's happening over there?
Nothing.
Why are you laughing? Are you drunk?
No, I'm not. He just
what's in those goldfish?
He's just like, no, yeah.
Well, you're at your car for quite a while.
I'm smoking a cigarette.
Oh, yeah, it's a long cigarette.
Yeah.
Well, it's an American spirit, so they take longer to burn.
I also feel like this was a punishment. And I'm sorry to Pete, I guess, because Tyler seems like he had a better time watching it.
I'm indifferent to it.
Yeah, I regret.
Stop it. Get some help.
I don't have many regrets in my life.
And this is one of them.
This might be, on the list.
On the high up there.
If I were to make a list right now, that agreeing to be on the show.
Oh my god!
Say yes when Tyler asked 5 years ago.
And then this would be on there somewhere. No, I did. This was like the first one was rough to watch. Maybe had a little bit more leniency on how I felt about it, and there were some aspects of it that I enjoyed, but there was just even less of that in this in this second one. The acting got worse, and the writing got worse, and kind of going back to our the conversation about mainstream movies. Like, would this be one of the telltale signs of a failing industry?
When this comes out,
when this came out, you know, it's like, what is Hollywood doing? Why are we making a second of this movie that did? I mean,
it made money.
It made money at the box office. Yes.
Yeah.
So they were saying like, okay, well, let's bring it back.
Yeah.
And I suppose it made money again. But how it's got a 4.4 on IMDb.
That's rough. That's rough.
And yeah, I had not a good time watching this. It was a lot of like furrowing my brow and just not enjoying myself.
Go ahead.
And it's not. I honestly don't have a whole lot to say after that. I think there's some lore here in the
Paul Blart lore.
in the original intention of the story and the script, especially for the part 2, which I felt was like it would have taken a big turn if they did this. They wanted to introduce a godlike character into this that is putting Paul Blart through trials. And
interesting.
Yes, they called him the Shadow Man.
Okay. Why?
And
what?
The piano player in the bird fighting scene was supposed to be the Shadow Man.
Oh wow.
That's why he's not doing anything. That's why he's just watching him.
Interesting. He's testing him through the bird.
Yeah, that's just one test.
That was just one of the tests.
That was
his wife leaving him. His mom was it his mom?
His mom getting hit by
hit by a milk truck.
Oh my god.
Were all part of the trials that the Shadow Man is putting him through.
Okay.
But it was removed. The character was removed.
I think that's probably would have made it more better. At least it would have made it more interesting.
Yes, it did. It would have. I agree. It would have definitely made it more interesting.
So I wonder if like doing that intro synopsis of his life being ripped to shreds, between each moment it would cut to like the back of a chair watching like a TV that's got Paul Blart's life on it. It's like the architect from The Matrix.
Oh yeah.
You don't see him, but
Jesus
you just see
Christ, you're already making the movie more interesting.
You see the cigarette smoking, and he goes, "All right, see how he does now," and then nothing happens.
Yeah, he just presses a button or something like that.
Yeah, that would have been crazy if they did. If they went that route, you know, what kind of movie would we have today? I wish that they at least like it made it into the script and they filmed it. That way we would have
something,
a deleted scene or something like that. But no, it didn't make it into the script whatsoever. It was talked about, and they were like, "I don't know, we should do that." And
so yeah, you didn't like it.
No, I didn't.
I mean, I will stand on this hill and say that I think. Thanks.
That's Paul Blart humor right there. He's fat, isn't that funny?
Yes,
and dumb.
I think the idea was strong.
Is it
for him? For him to go to a security guard convention, and then there's a plot that unfoils, and also him not being honored at this keynote speech.
I don't think I don't think strong is the right word, but appropriate might be the right word.
Okay,
like
yeah,
I mean, it makes sense for the plot to go to that point. He resets. Yeah. He's excited about the like heroic act that he did, but all the other people at the conference, some people like him for that. Some people are like, "Yeah, that was last year, buddy." And his delusions of grandeur, with he's going to be the keynote speaker, and it turns out not to be. It's like that all makes sense.
Yeah.
But the art heist at the same time happening there, it's like, okay, it's kind of funny. It's like, if we had 2 good security guards, they might be able to catch him. But there's 100 of them, but they all fucking suck. So they're not going to... It's like, they could have played more into that.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been really funny to have the thieves were actually really bad, and they kept leaving clues around all over the place, and the security guards would find them and then do nothing with it.
Yeah.
Like, they would just... You're like, oh, they're going to blow this case open. And they go, there's a... I think it says the password to this high security vault. Man, someone's about to lose their job. They drop this thing and they go give it to one of the security guards there.
I think Cappy Madison might be hiring, Pete.
Oh, okay.
I think he might be onto something.
We'll knock one out in the afternoon. That's probably how they wrote this one.
Yeah, there was a lot of this movie that felt like kind of like boomer humor, a little bit. Like it just something to make the old people laugh, old people and kids.
Yeah, I mean it was a lot of like the dad and daughter jokes where like the dad is like being overprotective and like the
doesn't want her to go to UCLA.
Yeah, who would not want their own children to go to UCLA if they got accepted? Like, I thought you were going to go to a community college in New Jersey. It's like, what the hell are you talking about, you lunatic? Like, if God forbid if I ever have a child, and they say
now it goes to God forbid, huh?
And they say that, oh, I got accepted into UCLA. I'm not going to be like, okay, well, go to. I thought you were going to go to a community college in Pittsburgh, but now you're going to UCLA. How dare you? Like,
yeah. Well, that's the logical thing to happen. But if everybody just did logical things, movies would be less exciting. Not that this movie is exciting, but
or logical.
And the on top of the Shadow Man thing,
yeah,
there was also an earlier cut of the movie that made it very clear and explicit that Paul Blart was an indestructible man, tormented by his inability to die, as he lost everyone he ever cared about. It was cut for time.
The cost of immortality.
It can only be seen in bits and pieces throughout the film.
See, that would be interesting. I don't know why they didn't do that.
Like, well, same reason like Gladiator 2 didn't have him fighting Jesus.
See, that's
it's
where
just
they
too much.
That's where they messed up.
That's where they messed
they
up.
went and made a worse movie.
Yeah,
that's where they messed up. I would have loved to see. Well, I mean, I already saw Jesus Christ get crucified, but if
you saw it happen, you were there.
He was.
We
was that devil
reviewed
baby.
that. We reviewed the movie.
He was the devil baby.
Oh, you talking about the movie?
Oh my God, Paul Blart was the devil baby.
He was the devil baby the whole time.
Oh my God. Yes, there should be like an edit. There should be like an edit, like with like the Paul Blart mustache on that devil baby.
The bad guy in this movie.
We're making a theory right now.
Played by Neil McDonough, who. Like, I would never know his name, but I have seen his face many a time.
Yeah.
What was he in?
Minority Report. He's the character of Fletcher, which is like Tom Cruise's like partner, kind of in that movie. He's the one that goes after him after like Tom Cruise is on the run.
Yeah.
He's that guy, and then he's in stuff that you would know him from.
He reminds me of Ian Ziering. You know who that is?
Aaron Aarons?
No, Ian Ziering.
Oh.
It's spelled Ian, but it's pronounced Ian.
Ian? Like Ralph?
Yeah, it's I-A-N, last name Z-I-E-R-I-N-G. Look him up.
You want me to look him up?
Yeah, look him up. I always get them two mixed up. Now that I'm looking at him, he doesn't look anything like...
okay, I won't look at him
McDonough.
There's some, like... I know we're talking about logic and, suspending logic... But he's the Neil McDonough is the bad guy in this. He wants to steal the art in this hotel. Apparently, all the originals of these art is in this hotel.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, in the Wynn.
Yeah, in this fucking
Las Vegas casino, the Wynn.
The original versions of these Van Goghs.
Yeah, Van Goghs
is in this hotel in Vegas. He's staying in like a penthouse with his cronies, right?
Right.
They have these giant like wooden boxes,
crates.
The crates that like Dracula shipped himself over in.
Sure, yeah.
How did he get those up to the room?
I mean, That's
take them
where
apart and then put them back together again.
He took the boxes apart. What about with the contents of the box?
No, it was probably there was probably just people who said, "Oh yeah, this is what I do when I deliver a package and like I have to deliver a crate. I'm just like, yeah, I just need a signature for this.
Just leave it down there,
and no one questions it. They're just like, oh, okay.
I don't know. Do they? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, no one questions the delivery.
One of the weirdest parts of this movie, really small scene, is when part of Paul Bart's character is that he's hypoglycemic, and it's like,
oh yeah, that's
it's
a running bit.
It's a joke that they fall back on, right?
Yeah.
That he just passes out. He doesn't get sugar.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where he's just laying down and eating melted ice cream, dripping onto his face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it is one of the most foul things in this movie. It's just like he's like sticky. He's like eating it like a little baby animal.
Yeah.
And it's just dripping all over his mouth.
Well, I mean, I can that's kind of realistic because like I've had helped a friend who was going into like an episode because they were diabetic and they needed sugar.
I'm not saying the situation isn't real. I'm just saying the presentation of it was one of the most obscene.
You will get desperate. You will get desperate. Like
he doesn't have enough energy to stand up, but he has enough to like back roll into it and like worms crawl across the ground.
Okay, yeah, that's not realistic. But still, I mean,
he's not a well man.
It's crazy how sugar will enter into your system like very quickly, very
fast.
I mean, it's like with anything like nicotine. Like it takes 30 seconds for nicotine to hit your bloodstream. So so I got that, but the whole like rolling around to get it. One wasn't. It was not funny. I know it's supposed to be funny because Kevin James is fat. And
just imagine being that man holding your daughter, and this obese security guard is laying underneath her, going. What would you do? You'd stomp on his head, probably. It would be a hate crime at that point.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're...
Paul Blart almost got hate crimed in this, but as we know, he's invincible, so nothing would happen. The guy would break his foot on his titanium skull.
Which is why it's such a shame that they took that part out of the film. That would have made so much more sense.
Would have been dynamite.
That would have made so much more sense because out of all the things that Paul Blart does throughout this film, if you take it into like a objective, realistic lens, he would have been dead like 10 times over. Like,
yeah, he would have been killed by the parkour ninjas in the first one.
That's true.
And plus, like the criminal organization that's stealing these Van Goghs, they would have just shot him in the head. They would have been like, oh, "What the fuck is this? We don't need this." Pam. Like
that's not this movie. That's Life After Fighting.
I don't know what that. I can't say what that is, but
take my word for it.
I mean, like what I would have really liked is, I mean, they did take what I will say that was really good about this movie is that they took a dark turn almost immediately, and that's what I liked is that
just that first like 5 minutes.
That first 5 minutes, I was all in. I had my doubts when I started watching.
4
this
minutes,
movie.
I was very doubtful.
But then when I saw that they were going to make his life a misery fest, I was okay.
It wasn't much of a misery fest after that.
It was just like a trauma dump, and then back to Blart.
Yeah, exactly. I wish they had like indiscriminate killing, which I'm a fan of people just killing indiscriminately with no rhyme or reason. And they did not have that. They did not have unnecessary deaths.
No infanticide.
No infanticide. No head bashing scenes that were notable to me.
No skull rips.
But there was a bird fight scene.
The bird fight scene had me dying. That was so freaking funny. I love that because the guy playing the piano who's supposed to be the Shadow Man, apparently.
Yeah.
That was so funny because I'm just sitting there thinking, I wonder if this guy just like, he's either high like on painkillers or he just does not give a shit about this person.
No, he's enjoying himself, actually.
He's having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like...
he's a sociopath. He likes to see it.
Yeah.
He actually put the bird there on purpose.
But that's
He
what
is
I
the
love.
Shadow Man.
That's what I love about it, though. Like it's just like he was just doing it on purpose. Like he's just playing this beautiful tune on this grand piano, and he's just watching this fight with this bird unfold. And I think that thinking about that situation, like unfold, was really hilarious to me. But what really I didn't like about this movie was the daughter.
Yeah, she's
It was
off-putting.
Not good.
It was just annoying. I was just
I was like, shut up.
She's.
I didn't say it like that.
No, that's Joseph watching the movie.
Yeah. Who invited you?
She really, I don't know. It's almost like it almost seemed like an alien wrote her and performed her.
Almost like AI.
No,
Like she
not
belongs,
AI.
like she looks like
You
she
think
come
AI?
from like the Men in Black, like an alien disguised as a human.
Rainy
Men in Black.
Rainy Rodriguez, I know you're listening to this. I'm sorry, but
It's true.
it was. Sorry, but the truth hurts.
She's a big
sometimes.
fan.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, like you see the outfits, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get dressed up. I'm gonna go meet this guy that's flirting with me, or whatever." And then she puts on like a blouse off of QVC,
Yeah.
like a floral blouse that drapes well. You're like,
QVC.
why? How are you supposed to be 17?
Yeah. Yeah,
That-
and she's
I
like
wasn't sold on that.
she's like being courted by the valet guy.
Yeah. I mean,
And
that's.
I was like, this is unrealistic.
I don't
Yeah,
know
he-
if it was unrealistic.
Well,
I
he's
just,
clearly gay.
he
He's
is.
clearly
Yes, he's
gay.
clearly gay.
What do you mean clearly?
Clearly.
It's so obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I didn't know. I didn't have that.
How's your
in my
gaydar?
mind.
Yeah. Do you have good gaydar?
Is there such a thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've heard of gaydar, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay, then you know what it is. Then why are you acting like you don't know what it is?
Just go along with it, please. I'm acting ignorant on purpose.
You're
You're telling
the
me
whole thing is a joke. My entire life is a joke.
That's. I couldn't have said it better than myself.
Yeah, as soon as he came on screen, it was like, oh shoot, what happened here? As soon as he came on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Shit, fucking my drops aren't even working. I can't even handle my drops here.
Well, that's. Yeah. That's exactly.
Red flag.
Yeah,
That's exactly.
and I immediately got a boner too.
Yeah, and then I started shitting and crying and vomiting. Yeah.
But yeah, this was.
I mean, we have the daughter pulled up on the screen right now. That does not look like a teenage human
Outfit.
being.
Well, it doesn't look like a teenager's outfit. And I know that she's supposed to be raised by Paul Blart and Paul Blart's mother, so I get that.
Looks like your
a little
auntie.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like
That does not look like a teenage.
It looks
daughter.
like your tia bonita.
And also, Paul Blart made love on a poor woman.
It was for a green card, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. Forgot. I think.
Yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy that is.
He's gay.
Gay.
I mean, he doesn't look gay to me. He just looks like a normal dude.
Just look at him.
He just looks like a normal dude. I don't know what is gay about him. What is gay about him?
This is what he's saying to her right now.
I'm gay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that line. In the
I'm
movie.
pretty sure. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Look at them watching back the playback of the movie. Like, this is the director right here. This is not Catherine Hahn. No.
Anna Gasteyer.
That's
yeah. It's like,
yeah.
You think we should go for another take? I don't know. I don't know if you like.
She was actually good in this, though. I mean, she's always good. She's underrated. People never give her.
What
credit.
scene do you think they're talking about right now?
This is the scene where
the
she keeps asking about his wife.
Oh, okay.
And he keeps avoiding the question instead of just saying, "Oh, my wife left me."
Yeah.
I mean,
do you think I look fat enough? Fat enough to be funny?
Also interesting, his brother Gary Valentine.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, he was the guy that did the karaoke in the first one. He's playing a different character. In this.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
yeah.
He looks different too.
Yeah,
it's
they
completely different.
Yeah, they toasted him up. He got them all.
Oh yeah, mini kiss. Forgot about mini kiss.
That's
yeah,
always
Mini
good.
Kiss.
Whenever you can't think of a joke, just make fun of little people.
Yeah, little people equals funny. They're just making fun of all of the outward
fat people,
outward
people?
things, the physical things of people.
Now, if only they had like an 8 foot tall person they could make fun of too.
I mean,
Why didn't they make him go to like do security for Carnival?
They can make fun of everybody.
Yeah,
they can make fun of everybody.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I guess
it's the perfect scenario
it's a
for
perfect
the
easy layup, no writing scenario.
Exactly.
I mean, the thing is,
the jokes write themselves.
I mean, the thing is, like, if you're gonna make fun of, the gayness.
Go back to that guy again.
Which one? This guy?
Yeah.
Again, he just looks like a normal
gay.
dude. I don't see gayness in people.
That's going on the board.
God damn it.
And I don't give a shit. It's just he doesn't come off as a guy who's like cruising for tail,
That looks like a dude I would ask for help for, like if I was on the side of the road and I need.
You would ask him for help? He looks like he works at Best Buy.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he could work be on that sitcom Superstore. Which also the guy who's the front office clerk also plays a character named Mateo on Superstore.
Look, I don't mind.
This is now a Superstore podcast, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know what that show is. I've never heard of it. I've never seen it.
It's supposed to be like the crew of a Walmart, but they call it Cloud 9 is the name of the store.
Stupid.
You're gay for saying that.
I am.
Yes.
Damn it. I don't mind like the physical.
I'm gay.
Okay, we get it.
Why'd you even say that on the show?
I don't remember.
We're gonna
Probably in reference to a male celebrity crush I have.
Probably.
I don't know. I don't mind like the making fun of like the little people and the the overweight people and all of that, but as long as it's well written, that's what I care about. If it's well written and the jokes hit, then I'm good with it. But this movie does not. It's offensive.
Okay.
It's offensive.
It's offensive, and I mean, I was.
So what are you working on right there?
Huh? I'm just looking at the 10-star reviews of this movie.
Oh my god! Please.
Okay.
Let's
see a few.
Really overhated, an underrated film, in my opinion. I really like it.
That's 10 stars?
10 out of 10. All these are filtered 10, like the highest to lowest. I feel like this movie gets too much hate. When I first watched this movie on DVD, I really enjoyed it. The shots with the Wynn Hotel are amazingly filmed, and I love the idea of Paul Blart getting invited to a convention. Did you write this, Tyler? And him stopping criminals from taking art from the hotel. There are a lot of moments in the movie that I crack up at. I know there are some parts that aren't that funny, but I like that the team was at least trying to come up with this kind of idea. I will say the only bad part in this film was the scene of Paul's mother's death. So overall, this is my favorite Paul Blart movie and one I feel gets too much hate. I wish this one would get more love and attention.
I like how they say, I admit that there's a lot of parts that are not funny. 10 stars. That's just what I want in a 10-star perfect comedy. A lot of parts that don't make me laugh.
Hold on, let me read the perfect 10 one.
We don't want. No, don't read that one with the block of text.
It's a long one.
Just read the headline.
I can because I can read it.
Just read the headline. I don't want to read the whole thing.
Truly an excellent piece of art, one of the best. Perfect 10 is not a phrase I throw around often. However,
do not read that whole thing, Tyler.
We're not gonna read this whole thing.
All right, fine. Well,
it ends with hashtag Blart forever.
Okay.
So are these? But these are joke reviews.
Maybe they might be. The very final scene is possibly one of the most tear-jerking scenes I've ever seen in cinema.
If you use the word cinema and you're giving a review of Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, it's a joke review.
Blart awakes and he walks through the graveyard where his family is buried. He breaks down in a flurry of tears before shooting himself in the head, thus joining his family. Truly, this is an excellent film.
Okay. Can we see the 9-star reviews?
9-star? You think those ones are more genuine?
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key.
A nice lean back and be entertained movie. Wow, the Americans love this movie.
That's great. Love that.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. Great
Very
funny movie. Don't listen to the bad reviews. Even better than the first.
That is untrue. That's completely untrue. It is definitely not.
Love the first movie. They definitely topped the first one. Laugh from start to finish.
Yeah, well.
That would be tiring. Just
That would be
frame one. Ha 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 ha. Just all the way through.
I love the part where she died in the milk truck.
I love when his wife left him.
Yeah.
Yeah. His wife left him.
Laugh a minute.
Now that's comedy.
Yeah, that's right.
Please clap.
Yeah.
Start to finish.
Yeah.
Comedic genius. This Dan. What is his name? Fickman. Dan.
He knows how to make money.
Evan Fickman.
Dan Fickman.
I don't know.
He knows how to make money.
Vinkman.
I mean,
Andy Fickman.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was just
it made money, I guess. They did with the They did.
I'm done.
This movie fueled the theater experience.
Yeah,
and that's why we still have theaters today.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say to add on to it. I don't even remember how it ends. It's a rooftop fight scene. He sticks him with like the non-lethal weapons.
Yeah.
He sticks him with like
and oatmeal too.
Goo.
Yeah.
It's like it's like what Spider-Man uses. Not the same Raimi Spider-Man, but like the actual Spider-Man. It's like a sticky thing. I don't know.
It looked like a Friday night to me.
They do. There is a Wilhelm scream.
Yes.
In there.
The hallway fight scene.
Yeah, I have the only thing I use my Twitter for is to post when we're going live, and also to post when I watch a movie that has a Wilhelm scream in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, and I have. I'll give you the tag too. Let's see, Wilhelm. Search Wilhelm. Okay, here we go. Cars, Howard the Duck, Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn Part 2, Kingdom of Heaven. These all have Wilhelm screams in them. I've given the the time code on.
Nice.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, The Three Musketeers, D'Artagnan. Okay, there's too many here. Let me just scroll back
I know
a little
because
bit.
it's
Let's see.
very
What are you looking
popular.
for?
I'm looking to try to find the timestamp
For which one?
Paul Blart.
Oh.
I have to go back 2 weeks. Let's see here.
Oh, yeah.
I did some posts about also. Okay, here it is. Wilhelm screaming at 1 hour, 18 minutes, 30 seconds. And Paul Blart Mall Clap 2, just for those.
Well, I'm glad I know that now.
Completists. Yeah, you're welcome. Grades?
I feel like there was something else I wanted to say, but I don't think it was that important. It must not have been. Oh, this was nominated for a bunch of Razzies.
Not surprising.
2016, Worst Picture, Worst Actor, Worst Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel, Worst Director, and Worst Screenplay, and Worst Screen Combo. And it won one of them?
What was the worst screen combo? Paul Blart and his Segway?
Kevin James and either his Segway or his glued-on mustache.
Oh, cool. I got it.
Yeah.
Did you see Lady Gaga hear her quote on SNL? She hosted SNL this week.
Yeah.
About the Razzies and Joker 2.
What did she say?
She said, a lot of people are tweeting at me saying, congratulations on the Razzie. Joker 2 sucked, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And she says, joke's on them. I love winning things. My Razzie brings me one step closer to an EGOT. It's like an EGOT, but it's hurtful. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Razzie, Tony.
Oh, what? This is what I want. This is a small little thing in this movie. Wait, there's a part in the movie where he gets access to a drone and it's to do like surveillance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a DJI drone. And there's no way that anybody would not know there's a drone inside of the room that they're in.
Oh yeah, they're loud as fuck.
Yeah.
They're acting like it's on stealth mode and it has the fans, the blades aren't making any sound whatsoever.
That's hella funny.
And it just sneaks up on a guy. It steals something.
This
doesn't
could
it?
never happen.
It's an unrealistic movie.
No, it really isn't.
He said that in a very sincere way. It's an unrealistic movie.
It's bullshit. It's what it is.
It's bullshit.
Frankly, and I don't care who knows it.
Yeah.
How dare
I'm
they?
tired of holding my tongue all these years.
I'll say it.
It's been 7 years. Finally.
Yeah. The truth has to come
Well,
out.
longer than that now. What, 9 years?
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the second to last movie is off the wheel, and now.
Oh,
So
way to grade it.
Oh, do we have to grade it? Pete, what are you gonna grade? What are you gonna give Paul Blart Mall Cop 2?
It's a D. It's a D.
What was the last F that anybody gave?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Last F? I don't even think I gave a Hidden Life an F.
Hidden Life.
A Hidden Life. Or
Unfinished Life.
An Unfinished Life, yeah. I don't think I even gave that an F.
I don't even.
Because that was, I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was just kind of.
What has to be that bad?
Veronica was an F.
Okay.
Cats was an F.
Oh yeah, Veronica.
Guarantee it. I don't even know if we were giving great like letter grades back then. We were too dumb to figure out letter grade makes more sense for the show.
Veronica was definitely probably enough.
That's like an F minus. That took years off my life. That movie.
It did, really.
Yeah, this movie's a D. Very little saving grace, but there is some.
One viewing of Veronica is equivalent to like a year's worth of drinking every day.
Yeah, smoking a pack of cigarettes a day.
Oh.
So yeah, D for me.
Wow.
Okay, Tyler.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with Pete. Yeah, I think this movie is a D as well. I wanted to find redeemable qualities, and the only redeemable quality I could find with this film was the beginning where they just basically beat down Paul Blart. You know, he loses his wife, he loses his mom, he's going insane. I loved his turmoil in the beginning.
I love the struggle.
And I thought they were going to go somewhere with that. And knowing that there was going to be a shadow man involved that they cut from the film, like, it's just like...
Love his mom gets hit by the truck.
I do. I love people getting hit by cars. It's kind of funny. Please cut that out. But so like it had me in the first very first 10 minutes, and then it just slowly turned into like sluggish Nutella drudge.
Nutella.
Yeah. You know, because Nutella is like, it's not as viscous. It's like really thick. So
more viscous.
What do you mean? What do you mean? No, it's thick. Like you can't.
That's viscous. Thick is viscous.
Oh,
yeah. It's more viscous.
Well, color me embarrassed. Yeah, D. Just wasn't. It didn't live up to the
to your expectations.
To my expectations.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Call me Niebert on it.
It's more surprising that you had expectations.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, because the first one was like, it was dumb, but it was fine.
How optimistic of you.
I know. It's
surprising.
Strangely optimistic.
I was expecting about Big Bang Theory level.
Yeah.
Like the whole joke was just one big bazinga.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least well, I mean, yeah. So yeah, it's a.
But what's your grade though?
I already said I was piggybacking off of you. A D.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Okay.
Did Tyler grade it yet though?
Yeah, I believe I graded it a D. Okay. I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
But I did love this movie. I didn't love this movie.
Got it.
Can you do just the first part of that?
Yeah.
But I did love this movie.
Oh, okay, cool. So Tyler did love Paul Blart and Mall Cop too.
Huh?
Yeah, it's a triple D.
All right.
It's like that alien from Total Recall. Triple D.
Triple D.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, not a good time. Even worse time.
Pretty sure Triple D was also the Triple X porn parody spinoff.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Like the gay version.
Yeah. That's right.
The gay version.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to say that other than that. It was just not a good time. It was worse than the first, and I'm not glad that we watched these movies.
Cool.
I can't say that I like. Usually, it's like, well, I'm glad I watched it. Well, I'm not glad that I watched this.
Well, it's an experience that we all shared individually, and I mean, I won't. I don't regret watching it. I can say that I've watched.
But Joseph can't say that. So
true.
And I did. So now the second to last movie is off the wheel, and now I guess it's time for the wheel. We're gonna spin it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
1 wheel, 8 slots.
Hey, that's not me.
3 hosts. This is
It's been Tyler all
the
along.
Wheel of
Always been.
Destiny.
all right. right, time for the final Wheel of Destiny spin. It's
That's
only one movie.
It's the last time we'll hear this song.
It's Falling in Love Like Movies.
Oh yeah, I'm gay.
So, this is on Netflix. This was.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if it's a Netflix original, but Joe Bridges recommended this to me.
When did it come out?
2023.
Yeah, I'd say 2023.
Oh, I thought this was like an old movie.
No.
It has a name like an old movie.
Yeah, and he said it was one of his favorites of the year, if not his favorite of the year. So I take the word of Joe Bridges very seriously when he says things like that, especially about a movie that I've never even really heard of before.
Yeah, it's. I have seen this movie. It's interesting.
Yeah. You have seen it, meaning you watched it this week because you thought we were going to review it on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler said, "Don't worry, guys. I'm going to watch."
My name is very fun.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch last week's show, so I know what's happening on this week. And then we came in, and he goes, "Wait, we're doing Paul Blart too?"
Yeah.
What the heck? Dude, that's called telling on yourself.
I know. I did catch the last
10 minutes worth.
10 minutes worth of it. Yeah.
Just 10 minutes of the last episode.
Yeah.
Greatest fan.
Yeah.
Greatest fan. Advocate.
I'm a big fan.
I'm
a big fan. I'm a big fan of middle class film class.
Okay, so we're gonna watch Falling in Love Like in Movies next week, and I don't want to know anything about it.
Cool.
Yeah, and then what? And then what are we gonna do? There's no more movies.
Well, format change.
We talked about making. Oh, Joe Bridges in the chat. I had my chat disabled for a little bit here.
Wait, can he rank my Eddie Murphy laugh?
Oh.
Yeah, do it.
Do a full one.
Do it.
That's it.
Well, that's
like Fat Albert.
Well, that's what he does. That's what he does in Beverly Hills Cop.
That's not bad.
Is this racist?
That's bad.
No.
Okay. I don't
No.
know.
That's how he sounds, but that's probably a bad impression of a laugh.
That's how they all talk.
Not bad. 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Maybe. So he says.
A couple. I neglected the chat.
Right.
I'm very sorry, chat. But Bruce is in the chat. He says Paul Blart retirement home cop. That's next.
Okay.
Nerdrovert says congrats on 500. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bruce Joe Bridges says, of course I discovered that you guys are on during Paul Blart Mall 2 review. I did not sync it with Dark Side of the Moon. I told myself I have to watch it clean for the show. And depending on how I like the movie, maybe I'll watch it again with Dark Side of the Moon.
The album is only like 40 minutes.
Is it?
It's not the length of the movie.
It's not the length.
So it would stop at some point. Do you just loop it?
I don't know.
It must be. Let's see here. Length. Dark Side of the Moon. It is a 42-minute and 50-second long song, which means you could do it twice to finish a 90-minute movie, basically.
Okay, so you would have to put it on a loop.
And it would end right around the credits start.
Yeah.
So I watched a YouTube video. So I watched this 2 weeks ago. We didn't do it last week for reasons. We did this week. And this morning I watched a couple clips just to kind of like spark my memory again and remind myself some of the highs and some of the lows, mostly lows. And then and I found I must have been another audio podcast because they just had a still of the prism, the triangle of the prism of the light.
Oh, yeah,
and then Paul Blart's face over it. And they were talking about Dark Side of the Moon. And one of the guys was like, oh yeah, I watched the Dark Side of the Moon. I think it might have been Till Death Do Us Blart.
Yeah.
I think they released one of their versions. And he recanted a lot of the scenes that lined up perfectly, and they showed the clip of the movie with the song over it. I have no idea how they were able to, not get copyright stricken because they're doing two.
Yeah.
Paul Blart 2
and
Pink Floyd at the same time. And they're like, 30, 45 second clips.
They cancel each other out.
And there was some legitimately, two negatives. There were some legitimately interesting things that lined up. They have that song, that starts, I don't know if, I think it's Dark Side of the Moon. I think it's the title track, or maybe it's whatever it is, whatever the one is where they give the lyric, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon. And the beginning of that song is, na, 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 and it says, the lunatic is on the grass. And it's him sitting on the grass in the meadow right before the bird attacks him. and the piano player's watching him, and it's very calm. And then when that song crescendos, the bird is full on attacking him. There's a lot of seems like a lot of good stuff. So one of these days, maybe next time we have.
When do you start it? When do you start the song in the movie? Like where in the movie?
Press play.
Is this including the opening, like
simultaneously.
the production houses and shit?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't care. I'm not gonna watch this movie again.
Maybe the next time we have a big shindig here, which we haven't had in a while, maybe we'll put that on.
Okay.
Just for fun. Just for funsies.
Please don't.
More in the chat. If you play Limp Bizkit while watching Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, it creates a brown note.
Oh.
You just shit your pants. Interesting.
Well, I guess that's good for the constipated people of the world.
And then Angry Otter says, little people equals funny. The whole premise of Under the Rainbow. LOL.
Little people
Yeah, he really
equals-
wants us to watch Under the Rainbow. I'm going to watch it. I promise.
Little people
I've been
equals
watching very little movies lately, so no pun intended for the little. So, anyways, fellas, thanks for being in the chat. Heather, thanks for popping in the chat in the first half of the show.
Yes.
Thanks for everybody
Thank
for
you.
following us for 500 episodes and 1,000 subscribers. It's been fun.
And it'll be 500 more.
And today is our last episode. So
I know.
we
Oh,
are
wait, what?
leaving. The show is over.
Our next celebration is 500 years.
Yeah, that's right. Tyler will be the only one alive, apparently.
Yeah, I will.
So,
welcome to Middle Class Film Class.
I think that may be your best impression.
Impression of an old version of yourself.
only host.
Your only host. So anyways, thank you to our cool ass yard duties. That's on Patreon. That is Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. If you want to support us, you can do so on the Patreon, or you can just go to youtube.com, follow us there, watch the videos, share with your friends, people that love long form conversations, people that love podcasts, that love movies, that love three idiots talking into a microphone. We have the whole gamut covered. People like talking weather and pastrami sandwiches and blueberry bagels.
Yeah.
All of those things.
Yeah.
So, until next time. Thank you for joining us this week for episode 500 and 501 as we review Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Follow us next week as we get into falling in love like in movies. It's on Netflix. You can watch it now and follow along later as we give our reviews because none of us have seen it. Should be fun. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And yes, to our audience, I have seen the movie, but follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
Actually, follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
There we go. See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.